Welcome back. You guys missed the intro music? I missed that shit sincerely. I can't put it in because it's two different laptops. One for live recordings and one for fucking Zoom recordings. You know, the fucking quarantine files. And this is the first recording I've done in person since March. So that's fucking 5 months ago. And the last guest I had on is back again. So why don't you say what's up? This is my little brother, David.
That's crazy when you think about it, though. Like, when you're saying that, I was thinking, like, fuck, it has been 5 months in quarantine already on, like, that's just, it's because it started, what, like, February, late February, no? I think March 13 is when, like, officially the date was where, like, everything was on lockdown and shit.
Yeah, and, oh, no, like, March 17th, 20th, something like that, and then I was still working, and then I decided to leave the 25th. And today's what, the 15th? I think technically now at 1 a.m.
This is 16th.
The 16th, but yeah. It's 5 fucking months. Who would have known? Who would have known then when we're recording? I figured, I don't even know what we talked about, but I'm sure we must have talked something about the quarantine.
Coronavirus is real.
And now here we are, fucking
5 months later. Fuck, that's just crazy.
And who knows what's going to end. Do you want to talk about that? I don't really, I mean, I'm sure it's been...
Fuck, I want to talk about the fucking quarantine body I got. Like, today is celebrating Abby's birthday, and I happen to be wearing the same picture. I had a picture from back in Thanksgiving, I think. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like I still lost weight from last year, which... It's kind of sad part. Technically, from last year, I lost 50 pounds still. But from, like, 5 months ago, I gained back 20 pounds. So that's not good. But starting this Monday, I'm going to start working out again. Well, like, just running mostly because most gyms are open, but Planet Fitness isn't, so, which I'm cool with. Like, fuck that shit. They're not charging me, at least.
Like 2.5 weeks ago, right? I was like, oh, shit, no, actually, like 3.5 weeks ago. I was like, all right, Abby's birthday's coming up. My birthday's coming up. I should work out a little bit. I've been running and everything, but I was like, I should work out a little bit and get in at least decent shape because these are the times when there's a lot of pictures, and then when she's older, she's going to see all this, and she's like, damn, Dad, you were fat. And I was like, okay, I'll be cool. So
I like how you say word, like you're not going to be fat in the future.
I'm not. But, so I started, like, running more rigorously, right? Longer distances, working out here at home. And it took me, like, 2 weeks to lose, like, 8 pounds. Like, and I mean hard work, hard work. Eating, not healthy, but eating healthier than I'm used to. Killing it with the water, easily over 100 ounces a day. And just kind of being like, okay, I had a burger on Thursday. I'm not going to have a burger this weekend. Which is weird for me, rare. And then I went running on a Monday. I said I'm going to start running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 5 miles a day. I'll be doing 20. I'm going to catch up to the challenge. I'm in shape for it. Like, I have the stamina for it. I'll be fine. Fucking first day of my new fucking half a mile in, I feel I don't get cramps. I don't get tired like that, you know, where I'm like, I can't do it. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, something just cramped up my back calf. So fucking bad, David. Where I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to stop. And I was like, you're a fucking pussy. Like, you're just waiting for an excuse.
I think in your head, like, you said that mentality of, like, right now, honestly, I'm in my head, I'm like, I could still run those 10 miles easily. But, like, I know if I try 2 miles in, I'm going to be fucking dying. Because I could probably look right now. Because I started running. I know when the whole quarantine thing started, I was using the treadmill. So I kind of stopped using the app because it couldn't really, at least for me, it was weird. Like, if I held the phone in my hand, it wouldn't calculate the miles. And then it probably was my problem because since I kind of lost a lot of weight, the shorts I had would be super saggy. So if I put my phone in my pocket, it would just start dropping my shorts. So I was like, fuck that, I'm not going to run like that. So if I had it in my hand, it wouldn't count the steps. So like, what's the point of having the app open if it's not counting my steps anyways? So I stopped using the app that we were tracking, like everyone was tracking their miles or whatever. So I started using the treadmill. I think I did like 60 or 70 miles on the treadmill. Then I started doing the app again. And then I think the most I did when I started running on like actual land again was fucking like 4 miles. I remember the first time I ran, it was like maybe a month and a half after I ran. Like after I stopped running on the treadmills when Planet Fitness closed, I was fucking dying. Like dying.
It goes fast, and the calf, I was like, you know what? Stop being a pussy. You're going to finish this shit. So, like, once a mile, like, it was a little bit less than half a mile. So, it was like, you know, it tells you halfway through your, cause I always put 1, even though I'm going to do, like, 5 or I'm going to do 3.
Well, I just put, like, what's it called? Like, open workout or whatever?
No, I do distance just so I know the time. Cause it'll keep telling you every half mile. And I'm like, okay, that's all right. Time
myself.
The
other way it tells you, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was, like, 0.46 or some shit, right? So, it goes halfway point. So, I was like, fuck it, turn around. And I kid you not, I was just kind of like, oh, fuck. Okay, come on. You already did it. 0.6. I looked down at my phone, you know, because it's like every time you move it, at least with mine, like it'll tell you, like the screen will pop up even though it's blocked because of the running app. And it'll say 0.6. I'll be like, all right, just keep running. And I mean, I'm at a slight jog, but I'm like, I'm not going to walk this shit, you know. I get back and it was not a cramp. Like, I've never had a cramp that was so fucking huge. Like, my pullback calf was just stuck. And I was like, all right, let me just stretch a little bit. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I was like, did I drink water today? Did I stretch? I was like, I did everything. I get home, right? It's at night. I always run at night. I walk in the door, turn on the lights. My whole back calf is green. I'm like, oh shit, this is not a cramp. No bullshit. Like, right away, I was like, okay, need a shower, need to fucking do everything I need to do so I can chill. Because I know once I cool down, like, this shit's gonna hurt. 2-3 days, I was walking with a limp, like, legit, in the group chat with me, Izzy, Ozzy, and myself. Like, we just talk shit to each other, like, oh, fuck, just passed you, you know, just, oh, ran 3 today, where you guys at, you know, that type of shit. I was like, yo, I'm hurting, like, this shit's, I'm not making an excuse. Because we were all, I think Ozzy was kind of taking off on us, but me and Izzy were still fairly close. I was like, dude, this is not something regular. You know, this isn't just like, I'll be back tomorrow. 2-3 days I couldn't. I went back on Monday. Nope, couldn't do it. I tried this past Monday. Still couldn't do it. I weighed myself on Friday, and I was up like, you know how I lost those 10 pounds?
Yeah.
I gained those 10 pounds. And I gained an additional 11. And I was like, what the fuck? Like that. It was 21 pounds up in like a matter of fucking 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, well, see, for me, I only said 20 pounds because that when like the lowest I weighed myself at was 180. So to me, that's like the lowest I was. And then once I stopped working out or whatever, I went back up to like 189 when I'll like flip flopping right there, just like maintaining my weight or whatever. But then like these last 2 weeks, I've been eating out like fucking crazy, and I gained 10 pounds. So total, it's been 20 pounds, which I was like, fuck, like, I still don't break back over 200. So I'm like, all right, like if I broke 200, I probably would start just throwing up everything I ate. But
we don't condone that. He's just kidding.
Just go ahead and throw it. No, I was kidding. But no, for real, like 200. If I went over 200, like that would immediately be like, all right, you're fucking starting to die right now. But like I weighed myself earlier today, and I was like at 198. So even that already to me is like too high.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, like
I don't. There has to be diet this week because I mean, it feels fine. I'm walking fine. Like at moments, like I'll wake up at night and I'll be like, oh fuck, this shit feels stiff as fuck. And I mean, the greenness is gone. It got a little swollen, nothing crazy, but it just feels like I was talking to a few friends, and they're like, you probably have a tear, or you probably have like something loose in there, you know, because like it's been so long that I have been out of shape, and I kind of push myself hard, and people are telling me like, you can't go that hard, even if you don't fuck up that moment.
I learned that the hard
It's like
way.
your body's like fucking, it's too much wear and tear. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just kind of trying to give it rest, and I'm like, what if I can't run? I'm hoping to run this Monday, right? And fucking
just walk it, like.
No, but I mean, for me, the challenge is the whole running thing. So I'm trying to like get in shape, do everything.
But isn't that what we were talking about last time? Is it a challenge because like it's an actual challenge, or is it a challenge in a way where you're like, I'm gonna challenge myself because this is something I wouldn't do before. Before you wouldn't go for a walk either.
Oh,
so
yeah,
in a
yeah.
way you're.
I mean, yes, but also I don't want to just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna walk the next 50 miles. You know, it's like, okay, let's say I get to 250. Or 300 miles.
That's the thing. You're trying to. The whole purpose is to better yourself, no?
So yeah.
What's the point of running it if you're really just gonna fuck yourself up? Because you're not bettering yourself. You're just injuring yourself in the long run. Whereas it's like for your happiness or whatever. Just
well, to an extent, yes, But at the same time, I don't want to. I'll do that as the last resort. Say I try on Monday and I can't, like, okay, then
see, for me, my leg turning green would already be the last resort, though. Like, if I came home and my leg was green,
well, it was like a bruise, like swollenness. It's not like that shit's not that, but I used to fucking play sports.
I've gotten cramps where they turn purple. Green is a whole different, like, green is a lack of oxygen. So,
that's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, because a bruise or a tear would be purple, black, anything like that. Green is a lack of oxygen, which gangrene. That's how you get that shit. But that's why, I'm pretty sure it was a cramp, but it pushed to that extent. Like,
that's another thing where I was like, I could have just stopped. And the thing is, it wasn't hurting anymore. It was just like, it would, how like before when I got a cramp, like I had one on my forearm one time, and I just kind of stretched out my arm. I made a fist, and it kind of just, it was funny looking at it, like, my fucking forearm's cramped up, and I was like, look, my forearm's cramped up, and it was all fat, and I was like I'm doing a fist motion right now. I was doing this, and it went away, like stretching it out, I guess. I don't know, I was kind of like doing that, and so I was trying to do that with my leg, and it wasn't, nothing was, I was like, what the fuck, I
Kill
tried
Bill
stretching,
style, fucking bend the pinky, bang the, yeah.
And no, but that's another thing, like with the books, even though I just finished number 4 this week, I'm confident I will get to 16, because now I know come Monday, Tuesday, I have at least, as of right now, at least for the next 2-3 weeks, 2-3 hours, those 2 days where I can sit down and read, which is something before where it's kind of so simple and trivial. But knowing you don't have those 2 hours set, like I know between this time and this time is reading time. It's a whole different story because you can just sit there and read and not have to worry about like, oh, well, tonight if I get home by this time, I'll be able to read a couple pages kind of thing. So I was like putting myself in an outsider shoes, right? I was like, okay, well, last year I read 0 books. The year before that, there was a couple. But right now I already read 4. That's already a win. Water is like a daily habit now. Like we're a lot of water. Especially
I
right
drinking
now,
water. That's
really?
fucking, yeah, like I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, because I cut out soda for the longest, and then I forgot what happened. I think I got a craving for soda, and I was like, fuck it, I'm starting drinking it again. And every time I'm just like, all right, today's the last day, today's the last day, today's the last day. And to be honest with you, I think I gained most of that weight once I started drinking soda again. Like it wasn't even the food, it wasn't the fast food or anything like that. Again, because like the whole calorie thing, like I told you, if like for instance, I wouldn't eat fast food 3 times a day. You get me? Like I would eat a really unhealthy meal when it was like, oh, I haven't eaten all day, let me go fucking eat this. Like, speaking of which, I don't know if we were talking about it, but I know you probably have some people on here that listen to King of the Sting where they the whole what's it called, like the rating system, and they voted In-N-Out the worst one. And ever since that episode, I was like, fuck, like, not to say I thought In-N-Out was the shit, but like it's pretty good, right? And they voted that shit the worst one, so I was like, fuck, like they voted Shake Shack the best one. So, what was it, like Friday? Yeah, Friday. Went to LA, and that shit is way better than fucking In-N-Out.
What did you say it was?
It was double the price. Literally double the price. Because it depends what you get at In-N-Out, but I think usually I'll get just like the number 2 combo or whatever it might be. Which is funny, because if you go to In-N-Out and get a combo, like it's the same thing if you order everything separately. Like when I was with Karina, we'd sit in the fucking drive-thru line. And we're like, is it the same price? And we just fucking add up the prices. And yeah, if you add up the stuff individually, it adds up to their combo price. So you don't even get a discount for getting the combo price, which is kind of a dick move if you think about it. Like McDonald's and all them offer a discount if you get it.
But if you think about it, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes, because it's like only like 60, 70 cents. But if you're eating with 4 people, that's $2-3, so it starts adding up. You get me? But most of the time, just because I've worked in restaurants my whole life, like upgraded to a large, or make it a combo.
The drink itself is what fucking...
No, and especially now that I don't drink soda, like that's where I see like $2.50 for a drink. Like,
yeah,
it's when like $2.50 for a drink, and there's 4 of you. That's $10. So when you say like, oh, it's kind of expensive, it was only us 3 or us 4, and it was $30.
That's $10 in drinks.
That's $10 in drinks.
Yeah, especially restaurants. You go to Red Robin, $4.99 for drinks.
Yeah, that's what.
Non-alcoholic.
Water is key. Now it's crazy. Me, I drink sugarless tea. Like, see right there, it's all. I'm gonna be sponsored by Stash.
I feel like fucking micheladas are overrated. Like, okay, if you ever see someone prepare one, all you're doing is paying less money for you're paying more money for less beer and more sugar. Like,
But see, the thing is, okay, let me tell you a quick story.
this
Buy
is
a bottle.
the story of a girl.
Buy a bottle of Jack and buy a 2-liter of Coke. That Jack and Coke cost you fucking what, $18 for.
I don't know. You go to Costco.
Even cheaper. Okay, no, but see, a Jack and Coke is gonna run you $8 at any bar.
Speaking of which, wasn't it before it was?
Get closer.
It was Jack and Coke and Gentleman Jack. That's all they had.
Mm-mm.
Oh, they had more.
You had,
Well, I'm not talking about like flavored one. Like I know they had the honey one or whatever. But I went to Costco and they had like some specialty reserve. Yeah, it was a reserve single barrel. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Is it good? Is it like much better? I've never tried it. Like
it's good, not great. I've had it a few times. I think it's called single barrel, right?
Jack single barrel. Do you know what that means by any chance?
It could be just a name too. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, because I actually like looking into. I was gonna say when you were talking about reading, I was gonna tell you like I haven't read any fucking books, which in a way I kind of wish I found a genre that I liked because like I like true fiction or not true fiction. That's true crime or shit like that. Like it's interesting, but then some of the stories are just like you're just fucking putting filler in there to make a book. So like I'll look at Wikipedia pages and I probably read a shitload of Wikipedia pages, but like those aren't books.
That's not a book. Yeah.
The thing I like about Wikipedia too is kind of like it's a wormhole. Like last time I was
like a YouTube, but with reading.
Yeah, I was looking up at UFC competitors, and somehow I ended up with like fucking Michael Cohen being in prison and shit. The prison that he's in, and like I started looking at like the biggest white collar crime. Well, this is the sad part. Like all of them were within the same frame, but the biggest one. They stole $71 billion from the stock market. $71 billion.
Damn.
They didn't recover any of that. And literally, it was a pyramid scheme from the start. People were investing money.
Was that Enron?
No.
That's inside trading, no.
No, they weren't even a legitimate company. Like no one would fuck with them because all the real investors would look at them and be like, "Your numbers are fake. There's no way you're doing that because they're generating like 1,000% return." So what they did is like one of their first investors was like some hotshot, right? Fucking invested $1 billion. So all these motherfuckers started investing with them. So they started paying them out with that $1 billion investors. So all these other little people came in, threw in their money. They took the money, gave it to the billionaire, said like, "There's your fucking money" or whatever. And then like it's crazy because that guy fucking stole a shitload of money, but because of the way he was like running the business, some of the investors who I'm pretty sure they knew it was like a shady business, but they're like, this was making me money, so I don't give a fuck. They ended up coming up like a lot bigger than him. Like there's people who like, for instance, deposited $300,000 into an investment account and withdrew $1 billion.
Oh shit, that's a high return. I thought you were gonna say something like $1
million.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like, and the thing
those
is,
guys never get caught when they come out with
yeah, like he got life in prison. Don't get me wrong, but this fucker was already like 75, which.
Fuck it.
Yeah. The next one down was like 50 billion. The fucker did 4 years in prison. His wife was surrendered I think $250 million. But like, you stole 50 billion. I would gladly give you $250 million to leave me alone. Like I'll fucking do 4 years in federal white. And then if you look up their prisons too, it's crazy because like the federal white collar prisons are like, they call them camp prisons because it's like a summer camp. You got a TV, you get like all liberty freedoms.
The Goodfellas treatment.
You could leave, you just gotta come back by the end of the night. Like,
that's a thing, and like,
do white collar crime people?
Nah, and
taxes,
have a good lawyer.
Yeah.
Have a good lawyer. Tax evasion.
Don't say anything. It's not what they know; it's what they could prove. And I've learned that at jobs. Like honestly, I fucking like straight up done shit where like they'll be like, "Whoa, you're the only one here." I'm like, "It wasn't me." And they'll be like, "Well, we're gonna check the cameras." I'm like, "Go ahead." And like it's fuck it. You could say all you want, but until you could prove that it was me 100%,
burden of proof,
unless I accept the fact that
is on the accuser.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, it's crazy because so far what I read 4 books, and I'd say
what kind of books are
2
they?
All right, I started off wrong because I started a reading list like in 2016, 2015 when Abby had just been born. Long story, but here we go. And so at the time I was like, how can I better myself? How can I be a better person? How can I? And so all these books, right? Like
we've all seen Knocked Up.
self help books, like fucking how to win friends and influence people. The 5-Hour Work Week, Rich Dad Poor Dad, fucking.
That's actually a good book though, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
No, these books are good, but I'm saying all my list was just how to make me a better person. You get me? So when I started reading this year, I was like, okay, let me look at my book list that I have. 'Cause I have a bunch of books on there. First one was How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a great book. One of my friends told me, like, it's because you know these things. That's why it's like, no lie. It took me like fucking 3 months to read that book because I was like, this is the most mundane shit. Like, when you talk to people, look them in the eye. When you shake people's hands, have a firm handshake.
See, it's 'cause
hold on. And I'm like, when somebody tells you their name, say it in your head 3 times so that you remember it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, this is fucking elementary shit. Like, I've known this my whole life. Like, and then I was like telling Yvette, our sister, I was like, how the fuck am I not influencing people and I'm not winning friends when I'm doing all this shit that they're telling me to do? Like, I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was like, wait, I do have a lot of influence over, not my friends. I say I fucking brainwash nothing like that, but I'm saying, like, because I've done this thing.
You're the voice of reason kind of thing.
My whole life, I'll be like, when I talk to you eye to eye, when I handshake, people tell me their name. I'm not one of those be like, hey, what was your name? Like, I'll remember. I'll be like Michael Scott. Blue means orange. Orange means red. Red means don't know.
Yeah.
Green means go.
Basically, everything means don't.
Green.
No, but it comes down to respect, honestly, because a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't know. It's respect to a certain extent because, there's sometimes where, like, you know someone who's, like, super cool and shit, and you know someone did them wrong, like, in that moment, you know, so they go off on them and you're like, all right, like, usually they're fucking cool, but they're having their moment. Now, if there's some, like, racist ass shit or something like that, yeah, fucking tell them something, but at the same time, there are those moments where everyone is fucking human, like, you got...
I hated reading that book. Once I finished it, I hated reading it. 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, I was like, that's a great fucking book. Everybody should read that. Because it did really settle into me, like...
Wait, which book was it?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That's literally the title?
Yeah. And to be honest, it's not that I did every single thing, but out of all the things he mentioned, I'd say about 95% I've already done or have been doing in my life. You get me? So I'm like, this is why I'm good at job interviews. This is why I have great friendships. This is why when I say something at work, it means something. You know, like everything, I was like, okay, like it settled in. So
sometimes does that make you feel not fake, but you're kind of like, yeah, like I don't know if fake is the right word, but you're kind of like you said, you kind of know, like, okay, this guy is cool with me because I'm this certain way. Like, not that you change yourself, but you're like in a way, I respect them to this extent. Like, you get me? Like, you have those friends where, like, for instance, like, you won't go up to them and smack them in the fucking ass, you know? Like, in our household, that's a fucking normal thing for some reason, but, like...
It's a joke. It's a plain joke between me and a few brothers, and it's just...
No, it's not a joke when you fucking, like, you slap so hard, you fucking fall to the floor in pain. Like, that's not fun anymore.
Tito did it to me the other day so hard that I threw a fucking shoe at him. I said, B, don't play like that. Like, see, 'cause there's a fine line between, like, doing it to, like, haha, and doing it like, I'm gonna hurt this who's ass cheek so fucking bad. And I was like, B, don't fucking play like that. That's not cool. And he was just giggling like, I got you. And I was like, there's a difference. But
there's a good pain ass and bad pain.
No, but see, to me, it almost feels like no, because if there's certain friendships that start off like that, right? Especially like with coworkers, where you're like, oh man, you know, do this, do that, do that. Bam, you give respect. Respect is given back. You're like, hey man, like we talked about, like, hey, I'll buy you lunch today. You know, you're pretty fucking cool. I make more money than you. Let's go grab lunch. And I was like, is it cool we blaze? Or you want to grab a tall can real quick? I don't want to get in trouble. Like, is that cool with you?
Yeah.
You're like, hey man.
You're right.
You're all right. Like,
hey,
I like you in work. I like you outside of work too. And then, you know, like, now you're kind of crossing that line. You get me? So it doesn't just cross the line the first day. And that's why sometimes some people don't get along with some people that come in the first day and just already want to do things their way. Because even though you're like, I'm down, it's like, you don't come in here and do it like that, you know? There's certain levels to this shit. You got to get to that level. You can't just come in here and calling shots.
It's funny because, all right, when I worked at Montebello, when I worked at HC Supply in Montebello, funny story. you know Josh, right? Like, it's funny. Well, I fucking have a podcast with him now. But, so, Izzy. I mean, everyone knows he smoked because he's been on here. I think he talks about smoking. But, so Izzy was her neighbor. And, fucking, we'd hang out with Izzy every day after work and shit. I remember he mentioned that Josh would smoke. And I remember, I forgot what it was, but I think Josh said, like, man, I'm fucking hungry, but, like, I don't have anywhere to go or whatever. Like, because he didn't have a car. And I was like, hey, dude, like, I'm about to take my lunch right now. If you want to wait, we'll go. So we're driving, and this when, like, I would smoke, like, fucking super openly. So I'm driving, and I'm like, hey, Josh, like, I don't want to burn you or anything, but, like, someone told me you smoked. He's like, nah, dude, like, I don't. I used to when I was younger, you know, like, I've done it before, but I don't do it now. And I was like, oh, fuck, that kind of sucks, dude, because I smoke. So, like, I kind of told you to come because I was going to smoke and shit. And he goes, oh, nah, dude, honestly, I smoke all the time.
No, see, and I'm not saying, I don't even know what was at play here. But if you're a supervisor or you're somebody that's been there longer than
I was a supervisor.
he's gonna feel like, fuck, this is a task, this whatever. Because me and a few homies, we've done this to guys. Like, hey man, we're gonna go grab a 3-pack and like go in there and fuck it, whatever. And we take these little papers that have like the write up things, right? Yeah. Like, go get us a 3-pack, like one for each of us. And be like, damn, fool, can you believe this guy? I had high hopes for him. He fucking failed. Write him up. And be like, oh, we're just being dicks. So I get in here.
I got in trouble for that shit, though. So I legitimately had to stop it because I got in trouble for my job.
For smoking?
No, for like fucking around with people.
Oh, okay.
I made a girl cry one time. Like,
oh, that's going too far.
That's her fault. Nah, all I said was she's getting fired. Like,
I mean, if it's a good laugh, it's a good laugh.
She laughed after. Like, it was one of those things where you're cool with someone to the point where you know, like, they're gonna be all right, and like,
okay, no, because
I was younger. I was what, like maybe fucking 22. Fuck, I'm old.
Wow, you're about to be 30.
No, but
I mean, that's life.
This is because it's funny. At HC, I ended up like, funny story, because I think at that point I had already moved out of my parents and everything, so it's all right. But I started, like, that's where I learned about business, really, because I started selling pre-joints. I learned how to bake brownies and shit like that. And I was making more money selling weed to, like, the cashiers and stockers and stuff like that than I was actually being a supervisor there. Which, it's crazy, because then that made me be like, hey, if I could do this shit illegally, I could probably do this shit, like, I'm smart enough to do it legally. And that's why I started with the business. And when you were talking earlier, when you were saying, you know, how, like, not that you get frustrated, but you're like, this is shit I know. Do you remember when you're doing
Top Shelf Sports?
Top Shelf Sports.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, like, Hector, do it, like, not necessarily do it this way, but you got to keep this in mind. You got to do this. And you're like, nah, you're thinking too big. You're thinking too big. Like, it's not going to get to that. You got to think small. And I was like, nah, dude, like, if you think small, you're going to stay small. You got to think bigger and it's going to grow. And, like, 2-3 months later, it would pass and you're like, hey, you were right. I should have done it the way you said it. And it's kind of like that. Like, I remember I would tell you, and it's kind of one thing I learned too. I'm only telling you this not because I think I know more than you, but because I failed already doing what you're gonna do right now, and like I'm only telling you because I already failed, and like I know that's not gonna work. But now, because people will tell me like this isn't gonna work, and like it's not gonna work, and then sometimes I'm like, well, fuck, it didn't work for you, but I'll make it work.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, because one thing straight up, I wouldn't have changed the route I went by, because it's one of those things where you gotta get the first hand experience.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I always talk about failure.
Yeah,
you gotta fail the first time.
Failure
really.
is beautiful. It fucking sucks when you're going through it.
Oh, it fucking sucks ass.
But in reflection wise, like now sometimes I'm like, okay, how did I fail in this? How did I fail in that? And I look at the wrong things I did. And now obviously, you're still gonna make mistakes, but you're not gonna make those mistakes.
But you kind of realize you have to, to fail that bad, you have to, it's a lot more.
But see, it's like aim small, miss small. Aim big, you're gonna miss big too. So that's why, like, sometimes when I make errors, I'm like, fuck it, this is what I wanted, you know.
But if you aim big, all you need is, like they say, say with the predator, like the prey has to get lucky 100% of the time. The predator has to get lucky just once.
And like we'll transition here, but what I was telling you about the podcast earlier, I was like, I'm not telling you to do anything different. I'm just telling you this is what I did. This is what I saw. Yeah. This is what I'm doing now. I even told you I wouldn't recommend it. And what did I say? Try to get away from it as fast as you can, because it will lead you up. You get excited, but the lows are low when it's not there. And
see, I'm not dealing with it. And like I mentioned, I'm not that I'm not dealing with it, but in the same way that you're kind of just like, fuck it, like I'm doing not this for entertainment, but I'm doing this just let's see what happens.
See where it goes.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at, and that's why like when Josh asked me like, dude, where our numbers at right now? I understand why he's asking me, but sometimes I want to be like, dude, don't worry about it. But like you said, like sometimes you gotta experience it yourself, because he has told me too before where he's like, fuck, dude, like we had that peak and then it kind of dropped, and it's like, dude, like not every day are gonna be hitters. You gotta take those high days and kind of average it out. Like we're averaging good right now. You kind of gotta take it for what it is. Yeah. But it's one of those things where, like you said,
fucking, there's good days, there's bad days. There's good weeks, there's bad weeks. There's good months, there's bad months. You know, so like just ride the highs and fucking don't dwell on the lows. But,
focus on the averages.
Yeah, I mean, have fun. That's what at least up until now, I'm still enjoying. That's why right now when you said at fucking midnight, let's record, I was like, did not plan to it. Then I thought I was going to go to sleep early today. I'm fucking burned out. Spent all day at the beach yesterday. Abby's birthday party today, but I was like, what did you say? When in Rome? Like, yeah. Last time we were supposed to record, and then we had a little family thing here, so it was like, fuck it, I'd rather do that than this. You know, that's what I always tell everybody. Yeah. Like, this is not a priority for me. I love it. I really, really, sincerely love doing this. But that day, I was like, fuck it. I didn't think twice. I didn't even ask you, like, oh, do you want? And I was just like,
yeah, not to comparison, but like, for instance, today is when we celebrated Abby's birthday, and then like by midnight, everyone was already asleep or at work and stuff. The other day, I came specifically kind of to record. I don't know if I was dropping anything off, but yeah,
it was a Monday.
Yeah, and I came in with the intention like, all right, we're gonna record, and we didn't get a chance to record, but I was like, all right, fuck it. And I was like, today, I was like, well, I mean, that's how I started my podcast. Honestly, it's funny because so it kind of keeps going back to that. Like the when I started, because in your last podcast, you're telling me to start one by myself. And I was like, I don't have any ideas or whatever. Because
you even recorded an episode.
Yeah, we did it, which I haven't released it. I might just release it under that one.
I wouldn't do it. It's gonna. What about Josh? You know, like what? And your fans are gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Or like, what?
Yeah. I could pass it off to you because it was just us two. So, I mean, just
no. But then it'd be different. I mean,
because
put it on hold for now. Just
the way I went completely different too. Because with me and Josh, I didn't even plan on starting a podcast. The thing is, like, because he has a lot of friends that he grew up with who got into the music industry, so they like rap, and they're kind of like, they're not big time, but they're kind of like locally known, so they're blowing up locally, which is cool. Like a lot of them actually have good music and stuff, and so he's been like, he had been writing and stuff like that. So I don't know why we hung out, and he was telling me like, oh, like this is some shit I wrote, and like I was listening to it, and like you know I listen to like lyrical kind of rap. Like I don't. Well, now actually I listen to some of that bullshit stuff too, because like
sketchy.
Yeah, you're driving and you don't really pay attention to music; it's just background noise. But I was like, dude, like some of the stuff you're writing is actually pretty cool. So we had agreed that like I'll go and I'll help you record like some vocals with background music. And when the time came to it, he goes, no, I don't know if I want to do this and shit. So I was like, dude, I'm right here. We got the microphones. Let's just fucking do a podcast. You know, just have a conversation. You know, it's funny because the first time he's like, what should I say? Kind of like the first time I was on here, like, or probably what everyone thinks before they come on here. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? Like, what's going to happen? Like even today, we didn't have any plan on what we were going to talk about at all. And I told him, like, dude, just talk. Like, just say whatever comes to mind. So the first episode, he's telling me, you know, he's worried about what he's going to say. He wants to, like, should we have a plan? Should we come up with something? Like nah, dude, just freeball it. Like, we got to go. Like, if we have to cut it, if it's a 30-minute podcast, fuck it, it's a 30-minute podcast. If it's an hour podcast, fine. By the second episode, at the end of it, he goes, hey, man, like, if I'm talking too much, let me know, because I feel like I'm talking too much, you know, like, if you need to shut me up. And they're like, dude, no, like, you talking is good. Like, if you're talking, then there's something going on. And it's fun. Like, same thing with here. Like, before, I think most of the time we've said, like, should we make a list of what we're going to talk, or, like, points and shit like that, but most of the time it's just...
I always ask out of courtesy, and up until this point, nobody has, except Ozzy came prepared in the sense where he said he was going to say his thank yous and, like, his... like, he had everything, like, ready. Like,
that's smart, though, because
no, yeah.
every time I'm just like, fuck, well...
What, you know, like, he's like... shout out to his kids, shout out to his wife.
I don't have kids or a wife.
No, but like letting people know, like at that point, I think he was like episode 12, 13, somewhere around that. He listened to every episode prior
to that point. Okay.
So he had like, hey, episode 1, Izzy, you're fucking killing. Hey, Big George, you're doing this in the community. Episode 3, George Vargas, dude, it's still the same fucking guy. Making me, kind of just like, if you guys ever listen to my shit, I was listening to your shit. I want to give you props to whatever it is that you're doing, because it's all love. It's all mostly people from Monte. It's gotten a little bigger.
We take a moment to shout out other people, like Alex doing the.
I mean, I
ordered those shirts. I think you ordered some too. It's good. And then I think David or S1, they're doing their podcast too.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like
Phil and their cousin.
I think right now, like, not to say that quarantine's a good thing, but I think it's a good thing in the sense that it's making a lot of people be like, hey, I could do this shit.
Creators.
Like, you don't need TV. You really don't, like, honestly.
You don't need a big budget.
Like I listen to podcasts on YouTube. Like, I can't remember the last time I seen an actual TV show. Even Netflix or shit like that. I won't watch it unless someone tells me you should watch this shit. Like, The Umbrella Academy, I now recommended it to you. I'm only watching it because Josh recommended it to me.
I could get into that because a few people from the personal page, they probably listen. I mean, I don't have to because it's going to be spoiler alert. So, but yeah, it was cool. I'll say it was cool. I'll say it was cool. I'm not a hater. I'm not a writer, but I was just like, dude, this could have been way better. But it is based on comic books. Somebody told me.
Hey, you know what? But like, honestly, I've been watching movies with my roommate because they still have the Netflix ordered by fucking DVD. So, like, when they get DVDs, they'll be like, hey, I got this movie. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, we'll have a movie night, So we watching movies, and I'll be straight up like, this is about to happen. This is about to happen. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, every movie is the exact same shit. Like,
it's predictable.
I'm not special. I know I'm not special. So, like, if I'm able to predict your movie, your shit is just either cheesy or fucking...
Isn't that what I was doing while we were watching The Umbrella Academy last week when you were here, I think on Monday or Tuesday?
I don't think so. To be like, no.
I even told Yvette and my mom, I was like, dude... It was, like, so predictable. Like, every curve they threw, I was already, like, I said this was going to happen. And that's why I was, like, I was talking to my dad about it. I was like, me and Yvette are terrible at watching movies, TV shows, documentaries.
You kind of already know what's going to happen.
And Carlos called us out on it. He's like, this is supposed to be enjoyed, not be criticized. Like, you guys make it not fun. Like, just watch it and enjoy it for what it is. Like, you guys are trying to, like, oh, this was going to happen. Oh, they should have done this. Like, just enjoy it. And I was like, but see, that's what makes it fun for me.
But you think that, in a way, like, our parents aren't conspiracy theorists at all?
They're not.
But, yeah, exactly. So you could agree with me on that. But at the same time, my dad would always be like, don't accept shit for their face value kind of thing. You get me? Like, I realize it when I'm buying shit, especially because, like, if I know how much it costs to make a shirt, right? Because I used to make shirts. You know how much... Like, you go to the store and you look at something and you think, like, they're making this much off of this shit. Yeah. So that's exactly my mentality. And I
with
think,
everything, though, now it sucks.
Oh, yeah, and it kind of sucks. You know what sucks about working at a fucking hardware store? I walk into people's houses and I'll be like, your fucking floor's on level, your window's installed wrong, your fan needs to be changed, like, your filter smells dirty. Like, I've never fucking done it. I've never done any construction work or anything like that, but... Because I started as a cashier at HG Supply, and I became, like, the sales desk and, like, fucking management and everything. So I kind of had, like, I didn't have to, but I chose to learn it. Because one thing I always kind of told myself was, like, did you ever work somewhere where, like, your supervisor or whatever was, like, fucking a dipshit? And you're like, why the fuck are you here? Like, you're not helping me.
You're detrimental to the company, and yet you're rewarded.
So to me, it's always, like, if I'm going to be the person in position... Like, if I'm the person in that position, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to fucking answer your question. I'm going to get shit done. And where did I start with the story? I kind of
about, like, my dad not being a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah. No, with the whole, like, you look at shit and you're like, fuck, like, this isn't, like, this shit could work so much better. Like, this, like, if you take the bullshit out of it. Like, I think that's what my dad showed us, to kind of take the bullshit out of the...
And then, I mean... My mom as well, like, in the sense of she did it differently.
No, she had the hustler mentality.
Yeah, like, no, that's why Avon.
No, how many of those? Remember how those little sculptures, the women's sculptures or whatever they were. Look it up.
What?
Do you remember my mom would get a bunch of like almost trophies? They were like from Avon. They were like
the top seller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
Look it up. Like those fucking dolls now, they fucking sell for like a couple of G's. And I was like, God damn, my mom was getting those shits like every month. She was a fucking hustler.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like, she didn't work, but she was always
working.
My dad used to play Sunday League. My mom was a lady selling the sodas, the candies, the chips, you know, like. And I remember at the time I'd be like, this is fucking boring, because like our weekends consisted of like going to Smart and Fine or going to fucking whatever, buying chips, buying Gatorade. Like, couldn't we have a soda? Like, we don't have sodas. And that's one thing I learned. Like, even if you have it, you don't have it. You get me?
Yeah.
Because it was like, can we have a soda with this meal? Like, no, we don't have sodas. And then the next day,
a cooler full of them right there.
The next day, the cooler was full to go to the fucking 8 a.m. game. And that's what I always talk about. Like, these are the things I want to instill in Abby. Like, right now, when I'm selling, Abby's out there. People ask for her when she's not there, you know, and she gets excited. She puts on her gloves. She's throwing on hand sanitizer. Let me flip this on the grill. And people tell me, that's really good that she's seeing you do this, because when she gets older, she's going to be like...
No, it is, because I've told you before, I think I've even mentioned it here, I have anxiety, right? And if you think about it, like, we didn't grow up with adults around us, really, except for our parents, right? And then, like, not to take anything away from them, but they really wouldn't socialize with other, like, adults or anything. Like, they're first generation here. Like, they fucking made it possible for us to be here. So we grew up not really talking to adults. Like, think about it right now. As I'm old, so I'm about to be 30, right? And think about it. Abby is
having conversations
with the 30-year-old,
yeah.
With our younger siblings, which are like 27, 25. So she's talking to adults on a regular basis. So when she goes to school and there's an adult authority figure and they're like, "Hey, do this," she can be like, "Nah, you're fucking tripping," because my fucking uncle, my fucking aunt, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa told me not to put up with this shit right here.
And you can already see it.
Yeah,
she does it with me. Not that she's a bad kid, but she just stands her ground. What she believes in. Yeah, yesterday we were at the beach, and she didn't want to get in the water. We drove it was 2 hours. We don't live in El Monte, people. We live in Moreno Valley.
Desert, fucking 109 today.
It took us 2 hours to get there. And we got in the water. She came outside. She got cold. So I told her, we need to go back in the water because you're going to get cold out here. It's already fucking 4 p.m. She's like, no, let's eat our snacks, and then we'll see what we do. Like, that's what she told me. And so I said, okay, we'll eat our snacks and we'll see what we do. We're out here for her birthday, people. So I'm like, all right, let her have her moment. So I'm like, okay, baby, let's go walk. She goes, no, let me bury you, because I'd already buried her. You guys saw that on the gram. So she buried me. I dug the hole and I filled myself in, and then she just put the top. And then she's like, she thought she did a great job. So she's like, no, now I'm going to go play in the water and you're going to stay here. I was like, okay, cool. She walked away like maybe 10 feet so I couldn't see her, and I just kind of peeked my head out. She's right there. She's just kind of hiding from me. She comes back. I was like, baby, you put it too good. I can't get out. She's like, that's what you get. You know, I don't want to go in the water. And I was like, okay, if I get out, we're going to go in the water? She's like, yeah. So sure enough, boom, I pop up. It wasn't that hard. I get out of the sand. I mean, I'm like, let's go in the water. Like, no, you tricked me. I walk towards the water. I tell her to come after me. She's like, no. So she stands right there, like on the edge of like where the water reaches. You know, when it's already dead, like already like the last of the little wave, where the floor is like still sand.
The foam.
Yeah, right before that. So it's still sand. It's not even like wet. And I'm walking towards the water. I'm like, you said I had to get all the sand off me, right? It's all over me everywhere, in every fucking hole,
crack and shit. Yeah.
Every crack and fucking weave. And she crosses her arm. She's like, I said I'm not going in the water. We're gonna leave right now. What do you want to do? And she crossed her arm. And granted, it wasn't. We were social distancing. There was a lot of people there, but there was nobody within like maybe 20 feet of us when we were sitting down. Just for those of you wondering. And then I could tell if people were looking at her like, what the hell, this little tiny human. She's like, I said I'm not going in the water. I was like, baby, I need to wash off. She said, I'm going to wait right here. And I went in the water, jumped in. I can't swim, but I go in pretty deep. Came back out, and I'm dripping around. I'm like, baby, you need to get the sand all off over you. It's all over you and all over your bathing suit. She's like, I said no. Why do you not listen to me? You know, like technically she's already 5, right? Like it was the day after her birthday. And why don't you? I'm like, so I got on my knee. I'm like, baby, you have sand all over your butt. You have sand all over your bathing suit. Like, you're going to be really itchy right now when the sun dries all this water off. Why don't you come in? After we do that, can we go for a walk? Last time they were selling ice cream over there. I really want ice cream. Yes. You get me? Like,
Yeah, like
it's all you need to do a lot of times is talk to your kids. What do they want? Luckily with her, she's very vocal. Some kids would just cross their arms and whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, I know my little girl. So I'm like, something's up. What's wrong? She wanted ice cream. I wanted ice cream. I didn't know I wanted ice cream, but when she said it, I was like, that's a great idea. But at the same time, like you said, I could tell by the people looking around, it wasn't because she was throwing a fit. Because how many kids throw a fit?
They
what do they do?
Crying,
what do they? Yeah, exactly. They start crying. They start throwing things. She was being vocal about it, saying the things. And I was in her classroom when the BC times, before Corona. I was volunteering it. And so when she had little issues, she would just be like, I don't know about that. Because she's still a little girl. She's a woman. And she's very, very vocal. You need to cut this. I like it better like this. And it's like, this is not a recommendation. Like, you need to cut this. Like, okay. Like, and that's like what you mentioned. Me as a kid, I was shy as fuck.
Me too. Like,
and it was because
I got scarred.
You've talked about it on here. And me in a different sense where I had no confidence.
Yeah,
just because it was like, I was a little kid. Like,
you know what's crazy? Like, okay, sorry to interrupt you, but I still don't. And everyone's like, I wish I had the confidence you did. And I'm like, well, I just learned I had to fake this shit.
Fake it till you make it. And now
you just fake it and keep faking it.
I feel like I'm at the point. Well, I did have confidence early in my 20s. Like, I still do.
You're right. Because now at this point, like,
I don't give a fuck. It's not confidence.
I really don't give a fuck either. I'll go to
people love
sandals.
this. Let me throw it out one time. I don't give a fuck. And truth be told, like, my hair is now kind of an annoyance because unless I style it,
that's the only reason I cut it.
You saw how fucking moppy it was this morning, and so I'm just like, you know what? Till New Year's, and I'm gonna cut it. I thought it was gonna be a thing, I'm gonna fucking get a little mullet, let it grow, let it see how it goes. I'm like, nope. Come New Year's, I'm just gonna be over with. But the thing is, it's like people tell me that shit looks stupid. Like, good, I wanted to. Like,
you know what's crazy? Okay, since I lost weight, like. I mentioned my anxiety, shit like that, right? Self-confidence, yeah. Already, pretty down there. Not a high peaker, but like since I started losing weight, I noticed that girls are shallow. We're just gonna put that out there, because they'll be fucking hitting on me like crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, now I got options. No, but fuck, I forgot where I was going with this.
Anxiety, low.
No. Okay. No, yeah. So, like, a lot of people will be, like, now that I lost weight, right? Like, again, I gained weight back, but still losing 50 pounds is still a lot of fucking weight. So they'll be like, you're really handsome and shit. And, like, in my head, I'm like, yes, like, I've been told before, like, I just don't want to be cocky and shit. So now, they'll be like, because obviously I got a haircut. Like, I got a haircut, and I got it cut, when it was Friday. The day before 2 days ago. So I got it cut back 2 days ago. Literally, I've had it complimented by like 6 different girls. And every single time, I've said the same shit. They'll be like, your hair looks good. And I'm like, I always look good. And then they're like, you need to stop being cocky. And I'm like, bitch, you fucking told me to have more confidence. And now you're telling me to stop being cocky? Like, make up your fucking mind.
I get compliments. And at this point, I'm just like, I just return the favor, I do, like, it's not an eye for an eye. I must have lost a lot of weight. I've gained weight, like I said.
I get offended because people, like, the first thing people do when they see me is like, damn, you lost a lot of weight. Like, was I that fucking big? Like, how come you didn't tell me anything when I was that big? Now you're getting a fucking compliment.
No, but see, because I'm a little older, right? I'm 2 years older than you, 2 years and 21 days. And I've lost weight before. I've gained weight. This is the biggest I've been. But I've lost some now.
I was planned, though.
I'm loved, though. Oh, shit.
Damn.
2D. I'm just kidding. Hey, if no one loves you, Hector loves you. How do we end the show?
When keeping it real goes wrong.
No, how do we end the show? No one loves you, Hector loves you. No, but to tell you whatever, like, I like your smile. I don't know why. Bitches love my smile. Guys, too. Gay guys have complimented too many times on my smile. I think it's just a goofy smile, but it works. So I always be like, I really like your hair. I really like. And one thing I learned, especially you fuckers listening right now, is always remember, compliment something they can control. Don't tell them like, oh, like I like your fucking.
Tell them firme cheeks.
Firme, no. Your laugh, your fucking, your eyebrow, something that
I can't control my laugh.
No, not you.
No, okay. I mean, Jerry, if you tell me like I like your laugh, I'm like,
no. Maybe it's a bad example, but I'm just saying because you could always compliment. Oh fuck, you look beautiful today. Like, oh, why? Because I'm showing cleavage, you asshole. You know, like
you tell me, yeah. No, see, okay, that's another thing. If you're a woman, like. With all due respect, if I'm complimenting you, you got to realize I'm already breaking that boundary of like, I don't want to be creepy, but you look nice, and I want you to know that you look nice.
At the same time, I've seen this work, and I've seen it fail miserably. Like at the gas station, some girl will be pumping gas, some guy will come up to her like, "Damn, girl, I haven't seen a girl so beautiful as you." And I seen her be like, "What the fuck, you fucking weirdo?" And I seen her go like, "Oh my god, you're so sweet." And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Shit, sometimes it's a bad day for the girl. Sometimes
honestly,
that girl's used to it.
What I kind of learned is if that girl responds with like, oh, you're so sweet, that's not the kind of girl you want to date. Because like, I don't know, when's the last time you heard someone like, hey, where'd you guys meet? Well, I was pumping gas and he came up to me and said I got a nice butt and shit. Like,
no, I mean, because no homo, some guys just have game. Like, I've seen it. You know, some of my homies have fucking...
I get it. But at the same time, those guys aren't the ones that go and fucking compliment someone at the gas station.
Oh, true that.
Like, you got to get me, like... It's like Dave Chappelle's joke where he says, like, you can't be upset at me if I show up, like... If you're wearing an outfit, that's what I'm going to classify you as. Because if you see me in a striped shirt, black pants... with the whistle around my neck at Foot Locker, you come up to me and ask me for a certain shoe size, and I respond saying, I'm sorry, but you're just assuming I work here because of the way I dress. Like, bitch, if you're dressed like that, I'm going to assume certain things about you.
That's true. Okay. But hold on. I've been and I've dated with girls that are like nothing like that. But then they have like that hoochie night with a bunch of hoochies. And then if you were to meet her that night, you'd be like, she's a fucking hood rat, she's a fucking hoe, she's a fucking whatever.
Oh, and but like usually I kick it with the girls that are like that group, not that individual.
She's playing the part. No, she's playing the part. And no,
if you're wearing a uniform, then you're part of the team.
That's a good one, dude. Write that down. No, I'm not.
Put it on the shirt.
Because see, right now, I know I shouldn't do this. You know what? We're going to skip this.
No, putting it out there. It's raw and uncut.
No, but see, that's the thing. I don't ever throw myself under the bus.
Don't throw names. It's not.
It's me. I was about to say
it's a figment of an imagination. Like,
okay,
the stuff I just said is personal too. Like, people can connect the dots.
No, but they're gonna fucking.
They're gonna be mad at me, not you.
Okay, no, because a few people have reached out, right? And obviously, you guys got to understand that social media is not all of me. You know, I put a lot of bad stuff on there. I put my failures and shit. But a lot of people tell me, like, dude, you're a fucking leveled guy. It seems like you got a lot going for you. Like, why don't you have a relationship? Like, you know, like you have nobody, like, hold on. And I'm like, if you only knew that most of the people in my DM, most of the girls in my DMs
have kids,
not even have kids, are in a relationship right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why am I going to leave this life to be worried about fucking getting cheated on or being whatever? I'm like, I'm content where I'm at right now, you know?
Because, like, right now, I don't, like, if I wanted to, I could do whatever the fuck I want. If I wanted to leave right now and go up to Sequoia just to sleep there, I could do that right now. I don't have that, like, responsibility almost. Like, I have no attachment except my car. That's the only thing I worry about paying, like my car. And then
I was thinking about this not too long ago because I want to go see the Grand Canyon, right? And I was like, fuck, if the world ends and I don't see the Grand Canyon, I won't be upset. I've talked about the Grand Canyon rigorously on here. And I was thinking, I want to take Abby. And I was like, everybody, this cannot get cut in fucking, but it's almost like it's a burden. You guys know what I mean by that. It's not, Abby's never a burden on me, nothing like that. But I have to be like, okay, is that my weekend? Is she gonna be good? Is she, well, you know, like what's her whole situation? Like, you gotta plan things accordingly.
Yeah.
And like, I honestly with work, it's like I don't give a fuck. At this point right now, I'm not at a job where I'm like, this is a priority or this is more important than my happiness. Because sometimes I might not say this in 5 months, but sometimes it's like, I need the weekend off. You can't have it. Like, oh, okay. You know? Because I know a lot of people, myself included, be like, fuck it, I'm just going to call off. But at the same time, you know, come Monday, you don't have that job or you only have scheduled 2-3 days. And where as 20-year-old Hector, looking at me now at 32, 31, but 32 soon, I'd be like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You let us both down. Like, this is not how you were supposed to turn out. Like, things were supposed to be different for you. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm a little girl to look after. You get me? So it's kind of like, she'll never be a burden on me in any sense. But just, that's why I was looking at it. Like, sometimes a burden's a good thing because it keeps me in check, keeps me accountable, where it's like, oh, I have to do this. I love drinking. I love having a good time. But if I got to do this tomorrow, then it's a wrap, you know, not this day. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll have some crazy wild adventure tomorrow, but not today because I got to do this tomorrow.
Well, same thing right now. Like, for me right now, like, okay, it's off topic, but it's in a similar sense because I'm not in a completely opposite spectrum from you because I'm single. I'm not single. Actually,
you're not.
Well, I don't have kids.
No. Okay. No, I'd be
well,
your
no,
shit. I was surprised.
Like,
I thought you were single.
Like, well, that's the thing that I was gonna get into right now. All right, I don't have kids, right? That are fucking my blood or whatever. But who I'm talking to, they do have kids. So at the same time, like, it's not at this point of like the way you're thinking about it. Like, oh, okay, all these girls are like, they have attachments as far as fucking their who they chose to marry with the young age, right? Because Chris D'Elia said it best. Like, if you got married before 26 and you think that shit's gonna last, ha! Like, I was in a fucking 11-year relationship and that shit didn't last. So, good luck to you. But what was I saying? Anyway, so like, I kind of realized, right? Like, okay, right now you're thinking about it like you have your daughter, and that's your responsibility. Well, the person I'm dating, they have kids. So if I choose to continue it, like, I'm basically like, you're not, like, it sounds terrible, but like it's in a way like, okay, Abby was kind of unexpected, right? Like, it just one of those things where like, it's one of the greatest things that could happen, but at the same time, it was
the greatest.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, there was a list, like, this is what's going to happen, this is the day, this is it, like, you get me? In the spectrum I'm in now, I have to kind of be like, okay, it's not just the girl I'm trying to get with, it's like her kids that come with it too, and it's like,
it's a whole combo. You don't just get the entree.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it too, because I was like, well, in a way, it's kind of like, not to sound fucked up, but like, it's like some people are like, all right, you didn't choose to have your kids. If I choose to continue with this, it's basically because I'm choosing to not have these kids, but like, you're fucking accepting the fact that like, you do have a part into raising them, because obviously, I wouldn't be fucking some asshole who's like, they're not my kids.
No, but, okay, two things. First off, I don't know how far along you are in this relationship, but it seems like you're very invested, because to even be thinking about that, I've gone out with girls that have kids. I have a kid of my own, and not once have I met one of these kids. Not one to this day. No girl that I've dated since her mom has met Abby. Why? Because that is a part of life that you don't need to know about. You know, if we were to get serious, and I'm talking about 6 to a year of dating, and be like, okay, now you get to meet my daughter. You know, so I don't know. I know some girls that bring their kids around every fucking dad, every fucking guy, every month. Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't date any girl like that.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I don't think you would either.
Like, yeah.
But there's some guys that do, and then they have fucking 2 stepkids, 3 stepkids, whatever. And another thing is, me right now, fucking August 16th or whatever the day is today, 2020. 16. I've thought about this over the last fucking 12 months, and I would almost date only girls with kids if I had to honestly make a
choice.
If it was like a girl that has no kids or a girl that has 1 kid, she'll understand. Because I canceled on girls like, hey, you know what? My kid got sick. I thought it was your weekend. It's not, but she's sick, so I just want to make sure I'm on all hands on deck. If she needs
Yeah.
anything, I'm ready. Like, oh, you're going out with somebody else. They're like, oh, fuck, you don't understand. You're not a parent. Cool, no worries. Like, no, it's cool to have fun. Like, don't even reply. I'm over here worried about my kid, and you're over here making me stress about something before we're even established. Like, good riddance, Go out with the girl. She has a kid. She cancels on you. Hey, you know what? My kid's dad's being an asshole. Won't be able to make it this weekend. I understand. I know what you're going through. Fuck it. Do your thing. Do your thing. Hit me up next weekend. Because you already know the next 5 days are hell for her. It's so fucking... Well, you understand what I'm going through.
I guess having you in my life... Well, again, not talking bad about anyone because everyone's been cool with me. But, like, having you... Like, seeing you kind of made me understand shit, too, right? Like, be like, okay, well, like, I'm going to get canceled on. I'm going to get, like... And then, in part, I'm like... Not to say, like, oh, it's cool, but I'm like, all right, like, I know where you're coming from, and I'm not going to make it harder for you because you're fucking, like...
And that's the thing, because some girls don't understand. Hey, I got her this weekend. I didn't think I was going to, and I did. Yeah. So, those plans we made, that fun weekend getaway? Cancel. So what are you going to do? Hang out at home, watch movies, fucking go to the arcade, go to Chuck E. Cheese, or this BC times, right? Go watch fucking Incredibles for the second time in 3D. I don't know, but it's going to be amazing.
Dude, I don't have a kid, and I fucking watched Trolls like 5 times already. Yeah. Trolls 2, actually. I've seen Trolls 1 like 10 times already.
And that's the thing, at the time, obviously when you first get single, even if you're happy or unhappy right out of a relationship, it's not like you're looking for fun. When you're just kind of like, you don't get these things. But at the same time, people told me, dude, you got to get with the single mom. You need to... Don't try to date these fucking hood rats, hoochies, in their fucking 20s. Date a girl your age that has a kid or two. You'll understand. You're like, the fuck are you talking about? Todo fucking aguitado and shit. Like, they're like, nope, they're right. You know why? Because they've been through it. And you're like, you know what? This is the people I'm compatible with. Not just, and it doesn't mean it's an unhappy thing. I'm telling you, I haven't met nobody else's kids. Nobody's met Abby. But yet, we've gone on dates, we've gone on dinners, we've done different things. And I know at home, she has her kid. She knows that. Obviously, if I had Abby, I wouldn't be out that weekend. But
yeah.
But it's those things where it's like, okay, this weekend doesn't work. Oh, this week's his birthday. It's not my weekend, but we're like, okay, cool. I get it. I get that. Because it's the same thing with me. And it just makes it easier than having to deal with somebody that's like, come party with me this weekend. Come do this. Come do it. Like, oh, well, actually, I have to do this on this day. And so just kind of... like what you were going to say, like where the whole with the kids, it's just different.
Yeah, but like even the party shit, like I was never into that. So to me, I don't know. I've always just kind of had no, like if you ask, like 5 years ago, if you asked me like, what's your plan for the future? I would have been, I don't fucking know.
I mean.
Even now, like,
yeah, my plan, you ask me
my
now.
plan now, like, if you ask me now, it's like, what's your plan? I'm going to be rich in 10 years. How? I don't fucking know.
But
I'm going to be rich.
That's the thing. I had a plan. Nothing in life went according to plan. But now I have, like, a plan and I have a process. I wish this was, like, a fucking self-help podcast where I could just be like, look, guys, look at the last 6 months of my life. It's going amazing. If they were to look at it, they'd be like, dude, you're fucking struggling. But if you look at the last 12 months, how I said I'm going to implement a plan. Things are going to start off slow, and then I'm going to catch momentum, and then things are going to start looking right. And then, COVID came in and threw a fucking curveball. And then the podcast popped off like it hasn't before, like it was ridiculous how many listens it was getting. Now it came down. I looked at the numbers. I looked at the dates, and it was like everybody was bored at home. It has to be. Everybody was bored as fuck from Netflix. They were done with fucking no sports. So they're like, let's listen to dumbass actors bullshit. And people liked it. So they shared it. And they shared it with their friends. And then people listened. And then they saw that people were listening. So the other people that weren't listening to it yet listened to it. And then I had some pretty fucking cool guests on. So people went back and listened to the old shit. And they realized the old shit is good as the new shit. Except it's not famous people. And then they said, like, this one really has famous people on here. Yeah. And they fucking listened to it. And then they saw that fucking everybody else was talking about it. So they said, fuck it, let me give it a shot. And they liked it. But hold on. And then everybody said, fuck quarantine at the same time and went outside. Some people went back to work. Some people started podcasting. Some people started being creators, doing art, doing whatever. And that's when my show went down. But at the same time, I stopped recording because that's when I started doing the whole fucking fish thing.
Yeah.
And so that's when I had to throw my own curveball. And everybody's like, dude, where the fuck is it? I don't know if you...
Podcast?
Everybody was asking me, dude, this shit's going so great. I'm like, this shit is not paying the bills.
No, so we're going to throw a curveball in your 2020. So remember how last time I told you your 2020 wasn't really about like necessarily like proving a point to anyone. It was more about bettering yourself.
Yeah, that's what, I'm not doing it for nobody. I'm doing it for me.
This is the first time I'm going to hear this, but right now I'm unemployed, Hector.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because I quit my job.
Oh shit.
Then
hold on.
I got savings. Like I've been living.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm sure.
I'm good for a couple months. But so what happened is, all right. So I used to work for HE Supply Home Improvement Solutions over in Pomona. The thing is, right now they're under OSHA investigation because, for one, like there was customers who Home Depot would keep track of their customers, make sure there was less than 100 people customers in the day. HE Supply had basically the best years in the last 10 years, the best weeks in sales. So our sales went up like crazy. So obviously we had a bunch more people inside, right? They weren't enforcing anything. They weren't enforcing no masks. They weren't enforcing anything at all. Technically on paper they were, but as far as enforcing, I was a manager. So I had to be like in the back, like fucking doing a bunch of shit. Like we were overpaid babysitters. And we, like, if someone walked in without a mask, they could walk the whole fucking store. And it wasn't up until I had time to go up to them and tell them, like, you need to leave, that anything would get done. We had customers who were, like, coughing, having, like fucking coughing up blood and shit in the aisles. And they didn't get kicked out. They didn't get sanitized. They didn't get anything. I think at this point, there's, like, 6 or 7 people that tested positive for COVID-19. And no associates there were notified, which is against the law, which is fucked up too because they're trying to pass a law because the people who work for Congress aren't wearing masks and shit. So you can't sue your employer for contacting COVID-19. So that's kind of what they're holding out for. Like, this isn't insider trade or anything because this isn't stuff I know. This is just stuff I'm assuming because, like, I've worked for that company long enough that I know how shady they are. And like I'm saying, like, the AGM got COVID-19. They got mad at us the next day, not because no one cleaned his desk, not because no one sanitized it, not because anyone fucking did anything about it, but because one of the service desk girls sat on the GM's. The AGM is the one that got the COVID-19. The girl sat in the general manager's desk, and she didn't have a mask on after closing time. That's what we got in trouble for. Nothing else. Not because no one sanitized the person who came in with COVID-19, because our team in receiving all came down with COVID-19. So all the products that came into our store were touched by people who were positive by COVID-19, and nothing got done. The one person who had family that was like fucking diabetic and like super hard with problems, like health problems, he brought it up to HR, and they gave him a couple of days off to get tested and shit. Once he came back, they put it on me, basically. Like, ask him if he still wants to work here. Make sure he still wants to work here. Double check with him, make sure he still wants to work here. Tell him that he needs to step it up, this and that. And I was like, dude, like, I'm not one of your fucking little
cronies.
Yeah, like, and I went up to him, like, I had a 40-minute conversation with the general manager where he basically came down to, like, the policy comes down to what I say. And I was like, so if whatever you say goes, you're making the rules, right? He goes, yeah. And he wasn't saying it about me. He was saying it about the other guy. But he goes, man, some of these people don't deserve to work here. They're too immature. They're too irresponsible. We don't need them. Just tell them that they could quit. I quit a month ago. They're still trying to put that shit back together. Like, the other GM, which it was fortunate for me because the other, there's left side and right side. The right side manager was quitting because she did find a better job. I've had my own company and shit, so I've kind of smart enough to start saving up money because shit happens. So I had enough money saved up for like half a year to be able to live without a job. And it got to the point where I was like, fuck this company. Like, they don't give a shit. HR doesn't give a... I emailed the HR.
works for HD.
Yeah, HR is there to protect the company. They're not there to protect the associates.
That's what people never realize.
And I always told myself, like, if... I've told you, I have anxieties. So, like, being that person, I would always be like, if my supervisor isn't looking out for me, then what the fuck are they there for, you know? And as a supervisor, I was like, if I can't look out for my people, what the fuck am I here for? So honestly, the next day I went in and I quit. And I'm telling you, it's been a month now, and I still get messages from them like, dude, this shit is fucking falling apart. Like, the manager's working 12-hour shifts. Like, you should have been doing that from the beginning, motherfucker, because I was doing 14-hour shifts. We were all doing 14-hour shifts, not getting paid hazard pay, not getting paid anything. Like, they got treated like shit. Even now, they're still getting treated like shit. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole better yourself kind of thing. I was like, I'm better than this. Like, I'm better than...
No, and I've had job offers, and they're not good job offers, you feel me? So I said, I'm struggling as fuck. I'm fucking... The whole weekends, my friends are doing crazy shit, having fun, living their life. And I'm like, I don't deserve this. But at the same time, when I get a call like, hey, I got this job offer for you, fucking 20 hours a week, $13 an hour, like, fuck this. Yeah, fuck this. I don't need this shit either. You know, I'm better than this. And that's what I finally said. Like, I meditate too. And meditation has helped me in tremendous ways because
I masturbate like crazy.
Me too.
Just kidding.
I don't. Twice a day. Get that shit out early.
No, I can't. I got it. What's that thing? Erectile dysfunction?
Oh, no. Nah. My shit is fucking brick.
It's always hard.
If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
Dang, nah.
No, but keeping it serious is... I told myself, like, you know, I'm not going to... I always start from the bottom of the totem pole. I always have to jump back. I'm illegal. Everybody knows that. So I don't get the same opportunities.
When I went back, I started at the bottom. Within 6 months, I moved all the way up. And it was actually that point. Remember, I think we talked about it in the first podcast where I told you I'm going to move up.
Yeah.
I did become a manager. Then I became a manager, and I was like... See, one thing at a job, too, is like if there's no one there, if you reach the point where no one could teach you anything, you don't have a purpose being there. Yeah. So at that point, no one there could teach me anything. Like, they're fucking idiots. So at that point, I was like, I'm good. Like, I could leave here, do my shit. When I had my own company and I was working, because I even when I had my own company, I had a job, but I was working for minimum wage, and they had an understanding with me because they knew what I did. So they didn't need a full-time employee. They just needed someone when they needed them, basically. So out of 5 days, I'd probably call out and just to be clear, I'm not crying or anything. I'm just fucking burping like crazy over here. But like out of 5 days, I'd call out 3 days, and I'd straight up tell them like, "Hey, I got too much work. Like, I'll be there tomorrow, maybe." And be like, "Oh, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Like, if you can't, just let us know." And I was just like, "Fuck! Like, you don't need to work for someone to necessarily be happy. It's like it's about your happiness, really.
It really is.
And it's crazy because, all right. So, quick shout out. If you have Spotify or fucking Spotify or SoundCloud, go listen to Shooting the Shits podcast. It's me and my homie Josh.
Spell it out though, because there's a lot of them.
No, okay. So it's the one Instagram. It's shooting.the.shits, and it'll take you to our Instagram page, and then the Spotify link is on the bio. But if you just go to shootingtheshits.com, it'll take you directly to where our RSS feed is at. So wherever you listen to it, you know, just give us a listen. And if you need masks, and then we're working on masks right now. We have the material to make all the masks. Like I learned how to sew. I'm working with someone who's been sewing for a fair amount of time already, so they know how to do it. They're teaching me how to do it. So we're sewing masks. So we're making masks. We're also making some like Disneyland style ears the little the little mouse ears, and some pins I just got. But if you go to nevernotyoung.com or on Instagram never.not.young.com, .young, that's where we're at. Either DM us there or go to the website, order stuff. But that'll be cool because, like I said, I'm unemployed right now just because my employer was shitty, and probably look for another job, just something temporary. But at the same time, if you have something that makes you like creative, whether it be sewing, welding, fucking anything really, just do it right now. It's a time. And like, if you think about it, if you go to Ashley's and you buy yourself what they consider a nice table set or a dining room set, you're gonna pay like $1,400. And if you look at that table, it's fucking compressed wood, which is shitty wood. And if you find an actual carpenter who works with actual wood, like let's say maple, oak, mahogany, stuff like that, they'll make you a table. It'll probably be like $2,000, so maybe $500 more, maybe $1,000 more. But that table's gonna fucking last you like 30, 40 fucking years. Like, no disrespect to our parents, but the table we're on right now, like if you look over by where Hector's at right there's a mean ass fucking scratch. You can't fix that on these tables because that's just veneer. This wood on top is probably like half an inch, not even like an eighth of an inch thick, so you can't sand it because if you sand it, you're gonna sand right through it. The bottom is just compressed wood, but if you get an actual carpenter, this will be a solid wood table. You'll pay a little bit more, but like I said, this table is gonna last you 3-4 generations. So it's not only gonna be in Abby's family, it's gonna be in Abby's kids' family. Not only her kids' family, but her kids' family. Like, you pay a little bit more, but it's worth it. And if you pay $2,000, that carpenter themselves is gonna be able to make a living. Like, gotta help each other out, whether it be food, whether it be fucking a new fence you need. Like, you go to Home Depot, pay $100 for not even $100, like $200 for a new screen door, piece of shit screen door. Pay someone $300 and they'll make you one with a custom design. Like, just ask around. People have skills. Like, everything is an art form. Everything requires skill. You'll find someone who does it for dirt cheap, but then you'll find someone who does it for good.
That's true. Two things. One, when we were talking pre-recording, you said, I can't throw it out there because I might lose my job.
Second I know how to, like, yeah, because you didn't know about it.
Yeah, second thing, I didn't know you didn't have a job.
Yeah.
So, for second, like, I get it. You know, I've quit before, having no backup plan, and, you know, obviously I made it this far. And sometimes it's about values, you know. Like, what you said has a lot of, I think you should make a bigger deal about that, you know, like, not to say, oh, let me throw HD under the bus, and not to be like,
to get thrown under the bus.
Let me be fucking jerking myself off and look at what I did. But sometimes you do need to, like, let people know, like, hey, look, this is why I left this company. Because I'm not telling you to make a blog post. I'm not telling you to talk about it on your podcast. But just when it comes up, let it be known.
You bringing that up is a perfect example because this is the second time I got hired into that company. And this time, like I told you before in this podcast, like, I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to move up. And exactly what I did. Like, it's not that hard. But in the podcast I recorded, Josh, I used to work with them when I worked in the Montebello store. So one time they tried to fire him. And what happened is he switched schedules with someone, right? And that other person didn't show up. And instead of calling him in and being like, hey, the person you switched schedules with didn't show up, they're just not going to call him and be like, well, it's a no-call, no-show for you because you didn't show up. And he was my homie, so I texted him. I'm like, hey, dude, like, they're trying to get you on a no-call, no-show. Just call in and see what happens. He was already, like, I think 14 points or 12 points is what they would fire you at. So he was, like, at 10. A no-call, no-show is 6 points. So he calls in, and he's like, hey, like, I just want to make sure that so-and-so showed up for my shift because we switched schedules, and I just want to make sure I'm good. Like, oh, no, he didn't show up. Like, so either you got to show up or something, like, whatever, right? So I guess he hangs up with them, and he calls me and goes, hey, dude, like, they just told me I have to show up. Like, I can't. I'm doing something. That's why I switched with them. Like, and I was like, well, SOP says, like, you're still good, right? Just call in and say you're going to be late. Like, we'll try and figure something out. You got 2 hours, so, like, we'll figure something out. In the meantime, I'll try and call someone in for you or whatever. So he calls back and he says, hey, you know what? I'm on my way. I'm gonna be late. You get 2 points. I mean, you get 6 points for no call, no show, right? So he would have been fired. If you're late, you get 1 point. If you call in an excuse, it's 2 points. So either way, like, if he called in for 2 points, he would have gotten fired either way. 1 point, he would have been fucked because, like,
he's on no man's land.
So he calls in and they tell him, oh, no, you're good. We already called someone in, so you don't have to come in anymore. You're fine. And then he calls me and goes, fuck, dude, I'm gonna get fired because they just told me I don't have to come in. They found coverage. And I was like, well, first of all, SOP says, well, I asked him, like, who told you this? Like, well, the other lead. I was in Montebello, I was just a lead. I was a manager. So he goes, the other lead told me this. And I was like, well, our SOPs say that if a lead or manager tells you, or a direct supervisor tells you that you don't need to come in, you're excused. So I did what any homie would do, you know? I printed out the SOPs and highlighted the part where it has. So the next day he shows up to work. Before he clocks in, they tell him, hey, can you come into the office? He goes into the office and they tell him, like, hey, we're going to have to let you go because you broke SOPs. You switched schedules with someone, but they weren't here to cover for you for this and that. And since I helped him, he reaches to his back pocket and he goes, well, your SOPs say that if a manager or supervisor tells me not to come in, which so-and-so called me and told me not to call in when I told him I was going to be here late, which would have given me 1 point, so I would have been at 11 and not fired, so I would have been good. Like, she told me not to come in, so how is this my fault? They reached out to SOP, they reached out to HR and all that shit, and like, oh, well, we're taking this back. You're not fired. Like, you're fine, this and that. And that chick got chewed out, but I was like, dude, like, fuck this shit. Like,
find a job.
Yeah.
I'll see, at that point.
Well, I'm gonna use the restroom right now, but if you end up listening to the podcast, which I shouted out a little bit ago, it's like episode 3 or 4, and my purpose was never to bring it up because I was like, I don't want to bring it up because if I bring it up, I don't want people to think I'm forcing it to be like, hey, you remember the time I did this for you? But he brings it up himself and he says, like, you remember that time you kept me from getting fired? And he throws the girl's name out and everything because he doesn't give a fuck. But, like,
you don't have to. If you want to, feel free. I mean,
no. Like, she was cool with me. Like I said, people tend to be cool with me because they think, like, I'm cool with you. But it's like, I'm cool with you because I think you're cool. You start fucking with people, I'm not cool with that. Like, you got to be, like, hold me. And, like, when I was a manager, I tell the people, like, hold me to your same standard. Because sometimes I'd be fucking around, right? And like, one time, one of the new guys, like, he busted ass though, and he goes. I asked him, like, hey, what else do we got to do? And he's like, oh, I got to do this, and this, and then I got to sweep, unless you want to sweep. And like, no one likes to sweep, right? But I was like, hey, dude, if you got all that shit, I'll sweep. And then
hold on, let's keep talking.
He kind of took it not as an insult, but kind of as a challenge of like. Are you telling me I can't do this shit? But to me, it was like, nah, I believe you could do that shit. I'm just going to do the basic shit, which is sweeping, which everyone hates to do because I don't want to call it bitch work, but like, it's that kind of work where you're not really, it's not hard work. It's technically easy work. It's just fucking really tedious and it's fucking annoying. We had to sweep like 60 aisles. So I understand why they wouldn't want to do it, but at the same time, it's frustrating. But like I said, I'll do the dirty work if you're gonna do the hard work because it's about respecting people. Like that same guy who kind of called me out on that, saying like, "Oh, I got to do all of this, but if you sweep, it will finish out faster." That same guy, he was the first hire I did as a manager. And they would tell me, like, I had multiple people telling me, like, you shouldn't hire him because he's going to be bad. You shouldn't hire him. Like, you shouldn't get him on your fucking team because he's going to do bad. 6 months later, as soon as the position for, like, the morning crew, which is the technically busier crew, like, well, not busier, but they deal with more customers. As soon as they get an opening, they try and steal the guy who they kept telling me don't hire him, don't bring him in. And it's like, dude, you guys are so full of shit. And obviously I told him, like, do what you want to do for, like, what's better for you, because the shift we worked was 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. The shift they offered him was like fucking 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. So I was like, dude, whatever works for better for you. He took the morning shift, but no hard feelings. Well, I'm not going to burn him now, but, like, it's funny because, like, now, like, my homie fucking smokes a lot of ganja and shit, and, like, that homie's always there too. Like, but yeah, it's cool. Like I said, like, now the people I used to work with, like, when I come, because I'm doing a mass business that I mentioned while you were in the facilities, but I was like, I do mass, so I've gone to my old job to drop off some mass and shit. People who see me, they'll be like, you look so much happier. And in my head, I'm like, fuck, like, you don't think about it, but is this job really stressing me that bad? Like,
that's one of the things they don't pay us.
Right,
yeah. Well, I missed a lot of that just because my little baby woke up. We're right here in the living room, so I wanted her close, so she's right here. And then I had used the restroom before that, so he was talking about, I believe, his podcast. Give it a listen. Shooting the Shits. I know it's on Spotify because that's where I listen to it, and I know he's on Libsyn because I know I recommended that. So give him a listen. I listened to the first 3 episodes. I gotta say I like it. I know he has like 7 at the time when I listened to it, which was like maybe 4 or 5 days ago. So I don't know how many he's dropped. I told him that you're dropping a lot soon. I don't know if he's doing daily, but obviously we're an hour and a half in, and you're listening to him right now. So you must find him entertaining. So give it a listen. You'll like it. A little different than this, but I mean, there's something for everybody. And then also what he was talking about, I did hear that part about, you know, not just looking out for the homies, but, you know, being in management. It's crazy because I've dealt with so many shitty managers over my life, but at the same time, I've dealt with such few good ones that the few good ones stand out over the bad ones, if that makes sense. Like, even though they're a smaller percentage, I've always, they say you learn something from everybody. I learned how I wanted to be as a manager, supervisor from the good ones, but I also learned what I never wanted to do with working with the bad ones. You know, like, most of the places I was manager, supervisor, we didn't have to, like, look at the time card. You know, it was kind of like, hey, you get 30 minutes for lunch, and I'd be like, dude, take fucking 40. I don't give a fuck. Just when it's time to work, you know. And even though it's, quote unquote, you're stealing from company time, my employees were always better off because those extra 10 minutes, you know, for the, you know, you want to take that 5-minute phone call after you eat and not be rushed and fucking check your phone and fucking do whatever it is you fucking do, check your fantasy football team, all that bullshit. They come in content as opposed to feeling rushed that they didn't even get to finish their meal because they had to drive to Jack in the Box and there was a line, and when they got fucking back in, there was only 3 minutes left, so they ate a taco and then other food. You know, fucking life happens. So just being a fucking human and being like, you know what? How was the line? Like, fucking huge. Dude, don't trip. Take an extra 10. Take my 10. I always thought I really do. Take my 10. Cause I honestly, realistically, a lot of people will vouch for this. I don't take breaks. I don't take lunches. Right now, when I'm selling, sometimes I don't eat dinner till fucking 9 p.m. And this is, people will tell you this is true. The actor doesn't take lunch. The actor doesn't do this. And it's just one of those things where I always say, like, what needs to be done needs to get done. And after that, we'll see where we're at. And that's just from me. I don't expect people to do that. It's just that I saw a few managers do this. So I always said, you know, if they can do it, I can do it. And I would always try to be my best and have, you know, have the benefit of the doubt for the people. Because I've been on the freeway and I got a flat tire. I've been on the freeway and I got a call that I had to be over here, you know. So I try to be understanding and tell people, you know, like, I don't, hey, what happened? I just mean, like, are things okay? I don't mean, like, let me know what happened on your way to work.
Yeah, like,
why are you 5 minutes? Like, I don't give a fuck.
Like, genuinely, like, hey, if you're not good, let me know because I want to make sure you're good.
And one of the things that a few people have mentioned on here is, like, the whole leader versus boss thing. Like, you help the team, you know. You're only, like, you're not just gonna stand around with your dick in your hand and watch everybody else work. Like, you got to pull your own weight too. Like, yeah, you might make more money, and yeah, you might have some like say as like, you do this, you do that, but at the same time, you got to help the cause. And I don't know, like maybe like through trial and error, like as I've grown as a person, I've also seen like, sometimes you just gotta like leave people to do their thing. Because I've also been on the other side where I'm like, I'm trying to help this person and they just don't want the help. They want to do their little bullshit, show up late, and it's like, I'm all for it. But when you're like a distraction to the cause, to the team, to whatever you want to call it, it's like, why am I going to stick out my neck for you when you're kind of like trying to take advantage? Like, I'm at the end of the day, this is just a job. Like, I don't really care. I'm just trying to make it go smoothly for everybody involved, myself included. So if you're becoming a burden, I'll just be like, you know what? Fucking fire him too, because like, I'm going to stick out my neck for you, but at least show the respect to be like, okay, I'm going to come in and work hard. I'm going to come in and do this. I'm going to come in and do that.
You know what's funny? When people would start, like, at least working with me, they'd bust ass, right? And I'm like, dude, like, honestly, I just want 70% out of you. Give me 70% every single day, and I'm happy. There is going to be some days when I want 100 from you, though. But I'll let you know those days where I say, hey, I need 100 today. Whether we're shorthanded, someone's on vacation, like some shit came up, but like I'll give you that respect as long as you give me the respect. Like, I'm not telling you to come in at 100. Come in at 70. Just don't bust your ass, but do enough work where you're doing your job. And so, like, I'm telling you, like, I'm fucking single. Like, I didn't have kids, shit like that. Like, a couple of months back and shit. So I had disposable income, and one of the things, like, obviously you could vouch for me when I say we grew up poor, and you probably experienced the same thing where you didn't know the difference between like, hey, should I pump gas or should I eat right now? Like, it could go either way. Like, I'm hungry now, so like, or should I fucking pump gas so I know I'm good for the rest of the week? So now, like, when I was good, like, if I was gonna get food, I'd be like, hey, like, I asked cashiers, like people, again, like, I never thought of them below me, but you worked in positions below me. So, like, I'd be like, hey, you hungry? You good? And shit like that. Like, don't get me wrong. There's people who, like, consistently would be like, yeah, I'm hungry. And, like, they weren't bad people. It wasn't that they were trying to take advantage of me. I just knew the situation they were in. And, like let's say, I'm pretty sure, like, my dad told me this story. He told you this story. Like, my dad's gotten help to get where he's at today, So that's how I see it now, too. Like, if I'm in the position where I could help someone, like, I'll do it. And it's crazy because when the first time I quit from HC Supply, I went to a metal distribution place, right? And I'm working there, and I was making $16 an hour. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's not a lot, but like, I was working with someone there, and I was like, dude, how much are you making? He goes, I'm making 17. And like, what the fuck? You're making $1 more than me? Like, how long have you been working here? He goes, oh, I've been here for like 10 years. Like, but in Mexico, I was a welder for like 10 years, so I have a welding license, I have a Class A license, this and that, this isn't. And in my head, I was like, dude, like, no disrespect, but like, my dad's English isn't even the greatest. You speak English. My dad's making double what you're making right now. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, and like, And he told me, he goes, well, it's because the boss lends me money. Like, he lends me money, so I'm good. And I'm thinking, like, oh, fuck, he's probably like a couple $1,000 in debt, right? And I was like, well, how much money do you owe him right now? He goes, well, $300. And I was like, so you're telling me $300 right now would change your life? He goes, really, honestly, yeah. Because I could pay him $300 back, and I don't have to feel bad about owing him money. And at the time, I had to quit my job. I had my own business and everything. So, again, I was never rich. But I had, like, some disposable income, so I was like, $300. So I was like, all right, dude, like, hey, I'll lend you that money. So I lent him $300. He paid the boss off or whatever. And a couple of days later, he tells me, like, hey, like now I feel comfortable looking for a job. Like, now I don't feel like I owe him anything. Like, so a couple of days later, he gets a job offer for, I think it was either $22 or $23 an hour. He was going to be welding, which is something he already knew how to do. He was certified in Mexico, which the company was willing to accept. And he basically went up to the boss. Like, he still had enough respect to go up to the boss and tell him, like, hey, I got a job offer for basically $5 more an hour, what you're paying me. If you pay me $2 more an hour, I'm willing to stay. Which he was willing to take $19 an hour to keep working there. And I told him, like, you're a fucking idiot. But in retrospect, the boss still came back and told him, like, nah, you're asking for too much. Like, we can't do that, this and that. So he gave his 2 weeks notice. And I told him, like, dude, you're still doing too much by giving him 2 weeks notice. And the boss thought he was fucking bluffing or something and didn't do it. And yeah, the guy quit. A couple months later, I thought it was one of the coolest things ever. He called me up, though. He calls me and goes, hey, what are you up to? And it was like 3 or 4 p.m. So I was like, dude, I'm still at work. You know, I'm driving right now. So I'm driving back to the store or the warehouse. And he goes, man, like, I got to thank you because I'm home right now. I'm home with my kids. I've been home since 1 p.m. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, food. I don't have to worry about anything because I'm making enough where they're comfortable. I don't have to worry about working overtime. So I get to come home at 1 and hang out with them for 9 hours before I have to go to sleep. And to me, that's the whole point of life. Like, what's the point of finding happy? I don't know. To me, I find more happiness in helping other people be happy. Maybe because I grew up, like, if you listen to any of my brother's podcasts, like, you know what I talked about in the first parts where I'm like, I have anxiety, I have all those issues, and most of the time you're just hoping someone comes up to you to help you out. So now that I'm older and I'm in a position where I could help people out, I would more than gladly take those situations to help those people and be like, you're not alone, you know, like, you're good. It's just going to be tough, but you're going to get through it. Because that's life. Like, no matter what, we as humans, we experience the same shit. Like, white people experience racism. Everyone experiences racism. It's not just minorities. Like, white people are a minority now, too. And it's not fair to just be like, oh, well, they don't understand what we're going through. Like, by saying that shit, you're making them understand what we're going through because you're isolating them. And that's not what life is about. Life is about just making people happy, making everyone in your life happy. And we're running low on content right now because I'm by myself. No, I'm just kidding.
You ready?
Yeah.
Picking up where we left off. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Particular interruptions. So that's cool. Nah, the last thing I think I said was saying about, like, just doing your own thing during the quarantine. It's just tough out there. No matter, like, take this from someone who, I'm about to be 30. In my 30 years of youth, I fucking worked a lot of jobs, and, like, it's all the same bullshit no matter where you go. Like, I worked at HC Supply before previously, right? I walked out on a fucking 1-day notice. Like, I literally just said I quit and walked out. They rehired me. They're gonna fucking try and scare you with all this bullshit of, like, oh, you're not rehirable, all this. No, fuck no. Like, you're rehirable. It doesn't fucking matter. They need people. Like, everyone needs fucking people. But when you figure the company's cycling through so many people, like, it's the company's problem. Like, it's not just a one-time thing. It's
repeatedly.
Like, all right, I worked in Pomona for 2 years, right? In that time frame, including myself, in less than 2 years, there was 3 managers for my position. That isn't saying that's a good company. That's saying this is a company full of some bullshit. The guy before me was full of shit. Like, that fucker was a piece of shit, honestly. The guy before him was a scapegoat. They fired him just as a scapegoat. Like, it's endless bullshit cycle. Don't work for anyone. Work for yourself.
Easier said than done. But yes, do your best to do it. Because even now, I'm like, I might have to get a part-time gig to sustain this.
No, but yeah, part-time is understandable. Like,
no, but you get me? There's people right now listening to this in their fucking, on their commute to work, to a job they don't like, but it pays the bills. It's good enough. They get to have the weekend with their kids. They go to fucking BC times, right? They go to fucking the Dodger game on the weekend. On Sunday, they go to the zoo. So it's like the trade-off is there. They pay them enough to send their kids to a good school, to fucking have the nice things, the Sea-Doos, the Arctic Cats, the fucking insert here, you know. They like golfing, they have nice golf clubs. They like fucking tennis, they have nice rackets. So it's like, this is worth the trade-off.
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, that's where something like Reddit, I know you read it.
The listeners listen to Reddit. We have a good following,
you shouldn't take it to full account, but at the same time, when you go into those profiles and read it, you read the stories of the children, and they're saying, like, I could tell my parents were unhappy. I could tell my dad was miserable. I could tell my mom was miserable. I could tell they were so unhappy. What's the point of you thinking you're giving your kids a better life when they see, like, my dad's fucking miserable. Why do I want to live that same life as him? My mom's fucking miserable. Why do I want to live the same life as her? Like, not about what you think your kids want from you. Like, it's being happy. Just be fucking happy. Like, think about it. If your child sees you happy, they don't give a fuck about how much money you have. They don't care about what you're driving, where you live, anything about that. They see you and they see, like, oh fuck, like, they're happy. They don't need money to be happy. They don't need materialistic things to be happy. They're happy because they're happy living the life they live. Like, you talk to my dad. He grew up where he says that, like, they didn't take time into account because you woke up when you woke up. You woke up when the sun was coming up because the shit got hot. You ate breakfast when you went and got your fucking eggs, when you fucking milked your fucking cow. You know, you're living off the land. Like, you don't have a job. It's a whole different set of responsibilities. Like, you want your milk in a gallon cartridge? Cool. Fucking pay for it. You want your eggs ready for you already in the morning? Cool. You're paying for it. You're having to work for it. You want to live off the land? Go to Alaska. They still pay you. Alaska still pays you yearly to live there. Yeah, you're going to live off the land. You're not going to fucking be able to have a cell phone like you have now. You're not going to be able to fucking go down the street and get whatever the fuck you want. You're going to have to hunt. You have to do all that shit. But is that a bad thing? Like,
no, not necessarily. I think it's great. But I mean, in our lifetime, this is completely different. But that's the
new generation, yeah.
No, in capitalistic society, that's what you need. You know, I can't just be. You would need money to save up to go to Alaska. Remember, it's from fucking Malcolm in the Middle, the brother. He went up there for that dream. Same shit. Every time he bought fucking pancakes, he had to pay that lady with two weeks of work. It's a terrible example, and I'm not trying to diminish what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, easier said than done. Because I'm telling you, I was that guy.
See, no,
I was
I understand.
I make enough to pay my bills,
but you gotta look at our
go
dad.
out on the weekends. No, I know.
Like,
I'm telling you, but you gotta understand. Me and you have our dad. The listeners don't have that. Not to say their dad's not great, but they don't have that to be like, well, he made it happen and he was just happy all the time, and so it worked for him. You know, we see that firsthand.
The point across is still, like, there's still people out here who are first generation, don't even fucking speak English. They got 3 cars financed. They got their fucking house. Like, the American dream is still out there. Like, it depends how much you want that fucking dream.
And what you want from it.
Yeah, because you can make it happen. Like,
at the same time, my dad's been great, obviously, right? But
yeah.
4-bedroom house, 2 stories, big lot of land. A lot of people don't want that. I don't want that.
I don't either, but
to me, it's just me and Abby.
He wanted that, and he got it. Like that.
So for me, it'd be like maybe 2 bedrooms, maybe 3 max.
Probably 3
on a big.
Nah, I don't think 4 is good.
I wouldn't want 4. See, and I would want single story, and I would want a decent sized front yard with a big backyard.
Go to Texas.
Yeah, Arizona, something like that.
Utah is where it's at.
Honestly, by Boise,
Be
by
Post
University.
Malone's neighbor. See,
not for that. I just mean for
that
the nature.
Fucking smart.
I don't think he's that smart. Like people's making. Well, I mean,
no,
intelligence is relative and shit.
He's not that smart, but he's smarter than people think he is.
Well, he looks like a fucking idiot.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right. That's why. Like he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
But it's just relative to his appearance.
I think that's how I kind of feel about myself, though.
No, but you don't look dumb. He looks dumb. I mean, with all due respect,
I'm gonna get tattooed. Like, hey, let's make a poll. What's David's first face tattoo?
No,
6'9" or what? Nah.
But that's the truth. Like sometimes your appearance, for whatever it's worth, I make assumptions. I try not to. I do my best not to judge people.
Oh, we all do.
We all do, right? And I do. When I Post Malone, listen to his music, I was like, nope, that's not the type of shit I want to listen to. No clue what he made other than mumble rap, and I said nope.
Hey, it's not even mumble rap.
Honestly, I've heard like 2 songs of his. I'm not a fan of his music.
Okay, his music, they call it more pop.
Get closer to the mic.
Well, his music, they call it more pop because it's more like. And I respect him because when they asked him, like, what made you know you were such a great singer? And he said, I started using autotune. Like, there's some bullshit about it. Like,
but honestly, T-Pain, fucking all these guys. Like,
no, okay. You might not know this about Post Malone, and this is why I kind of respect him a little bit more. He grew up poor, like poor, and his friends were rappers, and he was kind of just like lingering with them, like, cool, I'm gonna do like I'm follow you guys. You guys are doing your thing. I'm gonna just fucking kind of coast along. He got to the point where he was fucking broke. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna start streaming. So he started, Guitar Hero. He was fucking good at it. So he started streaming Guitar Hero. So he's streaming Guitar Hero, getting a bunch of followers and shit. And he started singing along to the songs. And they're like, oh, you sing pretty good. So like, fuck it, I'm going to make my own music. So his first song that he released was called White Iverson. And that shit was like a hit or whatever. I've never heard it. I've heard it, but like, I'm like, whatever. That wouldn't have made me listen to him.
I've heard Congratulations just because that's mine and Abby's song.
Hey, if you like that song, go on YouTube and listen to the one feature. Well, it's Earth, Wind, and Fire, but Congratulations with it. That shit is fucking fire. Lumbre, as they say it in the down south.
Yeah, I think we touched up on a lot. I mean, we could go on. This is pretty fire. I know it is, just because I always get a vibe when like thing is, and I'm like, we could do another 15 minutes easy. But I just feel like I don't want to hold you up. If you're down, we could do another 15. I'll bring up a random subject and we'll go on that. Then I'll show you that's the next step for me. Just bring up random shit.
Do it. Do the damn
All right.
Satanism.
Did
you hear about how they passed that law?
That's
the ritual.
Yeah.
That's
are you familiar with Satanism?
Yeah, the 7 pillars?
No.
Oh, well.
Satanism is... They're agnostic. They don't believe in Satan.
Oh, yeah.
But hold on, for the listeners, they don't believe in nothing. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the devil. They don't believe in none of it. But in order to get certain laws, you have to have a church. So they have the Church of Satan, which they don't believe in. You believe in Satan if you're Christian, Catholic, not Hebrew, or what's the other one? With the P, Presbyterian. You believe in Satan.
Is that where they eat fish?
No, but they don't. But in order to get these laws, because they'll be like, oh, freedom of religion. So they'll be like, all right, cool, we're Satanists, and that's where it came about because these people were just fed up with the way things were going as far as like its separation. No, what is it?
Separation of church and
state,
yeah.
But it's not. So they'll sue. They'll be like, oh, if you can have a fucking Virgin Mary temple, then I should have a Satan temple. They don't want it there. But their point is like,
we should be able to have it. Yeah.
If you want
that, we should have this.
Yeah, because like a long times it's like under God, and it's like people. The Satanists say like under Allah.
Have you looked at the 7 pillars?
No, I don't believe in Satanism.
No. Well, that's the thing. Like exactly the point you said about their statues is their point on religion. Is like their religion is so based on like our shit is what people should want. If you're against us, you kind of look like a hypocrite, even in religious. Because I don't want to pull it out and read them right now. I don't know off the top of my head, but they're basically like
commandments.
No, it's 7 pillars.
No, but I mean, it sounds like commandments. What
they don't call them commandments.
But pillars.
They basically say, like, if you consider yourself Satanism, this is what you believe in. And that's the thing. You could be a Christian and still fully believe on the 7 pillars of Satanism. And their logic is basically, like you said, like if you believe in this shit, you want good in the world. If you're against any of... Because their pillars aren't like anything stupid. It's basically like respect one another, like... every person has a right to be themselves. Even if you offend me, you have a right to be yourself. I have a right to be offended, but you have a right to offend me. You get me? Like you have every right to be yourself. I can't tell you not to be yourself. Well, because there's a bunch of religious exempts and shit like that, right? So Satanism was like, okay, well, now abortions are a ritual for Satanism. And with laws is you can't fuck with rituals that are religious. So the only rule that Satanism put into their abortion rule, because I don't know if you know this, but if you want to have an abortion now as a woman, you basically have to bury your child. And in one of my podcasts, I actually we interviewed someone who works at a he works at Rose Hills. Basically said, like, I've buried a bunch of people. The only ones who fuck me up are the little kids. Because you see you don't hear their story. You know, you see a 3-week-old. You know they're premature. You don't know their story. Could have been aborted. Could have been a miscarriage. Could have been anything. But you don't know that story. Well, if you're Christian, you need to bury your child. Whether it be cremated, funeral, anything. But you need to have a ceremony for them. So not only are you fucking yourself up, you're fucking up people like the person I interviewed, who he said the thing that's fucked me up the most is seeing a little kid dead. You know, like you see the thing saying like this is the name, this is the person or whatever, but like you show up and the casket is 2 feet and you're like, oh fuck, like it's different, you know. So if you're Christian, you're making them do this. You're forcing them not only to affect the mother, but all these other people who aren't involved. You're making them. Their lives are getting fucked up because you're making them see this shit. Satanism is saying now, like, a ritual. You have your abortion, and if you're the mother or whatever, you go to the mirror, you look at it. Part of the ritual is that you say, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this because this is better for myself. Like, basically, you're telling yourself, like, you're kind of explaining to yourself, like, you're doing this because this is what's best for you right now, you know, like, anything apart, like, it's not about that. Like, it's to keep you happy. It like, I understand where the logic of, like, that's bad it comes in, but, like, when you look at human to human, right? Like, you mentioned Reddit. Like, well, you mentioned people know Reddit. There's a post to Reddit that's really popular where someone's complaining because someone convinced someone not to have an abortion, and they put them as their caregiver. When they're giving them up for adoption, they said, hey, this person here to take care of them. They said that they didn't want me to fucking basically kill them, right? Like, before they even knew what was life. They didn't want me to kill them, so I'm leaving them up to them. That person was saying, what can I do now so I don't have that responsibility of that kid? So you convince that person not to have the responsibility, but now that person said, I can't handle this responsibility, I'm not going to kill this person. Here. You handle it. You're yourself saying, I can't do this. What the fuck did they do this to me for? Like, so they take themselves out of the equation and put you into it, and all of a sudden it's like, I can't do this? Same thing that they were saying, you are saying now. And they could have prevented it before anything happened. And I understand. Maybe they could have been some fucking scientists. Maybe they could have been something, but like
not even that. And that's what people always say. What if he was a doctor? Doesn't matter. He was a human being, right?
There's doctors right now into projects. There's fucking scholars in the projects that are never going to get the opportunity.
You'll always see. What if Jesus was aborted?
Yeah.
No, and the thing is, I'm gonna make a little spiel just for the sake of making a spiel, and I'm gonna end it on that. And everyone's gonna be like, "Damn, Hector, you're good." And I'm gonna be like, "I know I'm good. That's why you listen." Abortion is not an out of this world thing. It's been happening for thousands of years. Because a lot of times you got to remember, C-sections are new. Before C-sections, it was a 50-50. Either the baby dies or the woman dies. Look that up. It's true.
Oh, I know.
And,
okay.
No, hold on. A lot of people would say...
The chainsaw was invented to help with abortions.
You're yelling into the mic.
The chainsaw was invented to help with abortions. Just put it that way.
And the thing is, today, people will fight for fucking the rights of the child, the rights of whatever. And I can tell you my own experience. I think it was like 6 weeks when we heard a heartbeat. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Before 6 weeks, I'm not saying I was for abortion. I was just like, how can you say this is a live person when there's no live characteristics, right? And I'm not saying I was pushing abortion, nothing like that. Stop there. That's not my point. Republicans, I'm not trying to make this political, but Republicans always say pro-life, pro-life, pro-life. They gotta have it. Save our children. And yet there's kids in fucking cages. They say that is against what God wants. And yet their mistresses, their daughters are always having abortions. So it's just keep the poor people having kids. Keep them in that hole. And to wrap it up, after this, we'll just do the words of wisdom and everything. I'm about to be 32-year-old male. You're about to be a 30-year-old male. We as men should have no opinion on abortion because me and you cannot get abortion. If the woman wants one, let her have it. If she doesn't, she doesn't, because it's a woman's choice, not ours. Cool. Words of wisdom. You're welcome.
No, well, not to leave it on Satanism, but fuck, you put me in that corner. But again,
it could be about anything.
No,
from the first 5 minutes of your show.
Where you leaving off, like that's a fucked up thing. Like Christianity, Catholicism, or whatever the fuck you call
Catholicism.
it. Catholicism, or fucking Buddhism, or Allahism. Whatever ism you want to add to it. Like, it all comes down to, like, hey, follow our rules. And as fucked up as it seems, that's what Satanism is. It's basically like, it's not about these rules that are telling you what should make you happy. It's about reality, what's gonna make you happy, like Catholicism or whatever fucking religion it is. They tell you can't have abortions, like no matter what.
But all the nuns do because they get raped.
Yeah, fucking Mother Teresa was a fucking hypocrite. She fucking had all the sick people. She would say, "Oh, you're suffering the same way Christ would suffer." Yet as soon as she got sick, she fucking went to Britain and got the best fucking medical care,
yeah.
And that's why, like, abortion, like not to sound fucked up, but there is kids who are living with parents who don't deserve to be parents,
or they don't want them, and they wanted an abortion, and they couldn't get it.
Yeah, and
another thing is, a lot of girls are raped, and they don't want that kid because he's gonna be a bastard kid. And the kid's going to look just like the guy that raped her. And she's going to look him in the eye every day.
And there is states where it's legal for you to get a fucking abortion even if you were raped. Like, that's some fucking bullshit. Like, I can't relate to a woman in that sense. But at the same point, like, even as a guy saying, like, hey, you're going to have the child of someone who you were raped by. Like, that's some fucked up shit. So... words of wisdom, just do whatever the fuck you want. Like, don't listen to religion, don't listen to politics, don't listen to anything. Like, just do what you want. Like, quit your job, walk out if you have to. Like, it's about your morals. Like, it's like something I had heard, which is any standard you're willing to walk by is a standard you're willing to accept. So if you're willing to walk by someone who's racist, if you're willing to walk someone who's a fucking hypocrite, then that's what you're willing to accept. You're willing to accept someone who's racist. You're willing to accept a hypocrite. You're willing to accept that quality within yourself. If you really like want to stand up for your shit, then stand up for it. But stand behind it. Like, all this canceled culture, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't. Like, yeah, if someone rapes someone, then yeah, fucking don't let them be famous. But when someone like was just in a bad situation where like it was made for them to look bad, like okay, like if someone's put into a situation where they're made to look bad and they say, hey, I'm not interested, then it's not about being put into that situation. It's about their response after they're put into that situation. Like, don't make that situation the thing. Like, same thing with us. Like, think about it. If you got popular enough where someone came up and said, like, hey, this teenage girl offered herself to Hector. Like, does that matter? Or does what you responded to after she offered herself to you matter? Like, if you say, like, hey, you're fucking underage, like, I'm not interested, that matters, right? Opposed to you saying, hey, fucking come through. And that's with the culture, with the fucking culture now. Like, it's like, hey, I hit him up when I was 17. Okay, what was his response? Like,
that's the thing about cancel culture. It's cancel first,
yeah,
and then culture. That's a terrible example because people are going to look up shit on me and be like, you did this? But no. But you're referring to Chris D'Elia.
And Brian Callen.
And Brian Callen, yeah. No, but I'm saying the people that aren't aware of those situations would be like, oh, fuck, Hector fucked up or something.
No, no, I don't mean that at all.
No, but I get what you're saying. And the same thing, cancel culture became a game, became a hunt. Like, who's next? I got him.
Even with women, that new song, what is it, WAP? Like, I'm not a fan of it.
Me neither. I haven't even heard it.
Honestly, I'll support it just because of how much hate they're fucking getting. Yeah. It's like, how are you going to tell a girl she can't rap about this shit? Like, a guy is talking about fucking screwing over a bunch of girls, doing it. Like, fuck it. Like,
but that's what it's about. It's about... Because it's a...
Quick shout out. You've met the girls who are the equivalent of guys, right? Where they're like fucking little pimps and shit. Like, I've met a couple of girls that are like that. Like, shout out to them. They're fucking... I won't give their names because, like, they're probably... Like, they don't want to get burned. But, like, I wouldn't hit on them. But, like, I respect your hustle. I respect what you're doing.
No, hell yeah. And to each their own, you know? Like, that's not what I'm into, but, I mean...
If you're one of the guys there, though, I'm sorry for you. Like, cheers to you.
She has just like we all have a fucking little roster, they do too. And the thing is...
Hey, Hector, speak for yourself right now.
And, I mean, fuck, we're supposed to end this, but fuck it. This is the best. There's certain things that get you clout. There's certain things that get you noticed. There's... When I replied bad to people, you know, when I replied nice to people, it never got shared. You know, people told me my show sucked. I was like, hey, thanks for listening. Not once did they screenshot it and share it to their friends and be like, hey, look, I was a dick and he said fucking thanks for listening. But when they said your show sucks, I said go suck a dick. All of a sudden it gets screenshotted and it gets sent to their group chat and now they're fucking airing it out. So I was like, nice. This is the next step for me to get bigger, right?
Yeah.
Because now their friends are going to look into it, be like, who the fuck is this guy? And some of them might like the fucking show. But at the same time, I say, you know what? Fuck being nice. Because they're pretending to be mean. And I'm pretending to be nice. Just quit pretending. I'm not an asshole. But at the same time, they're like, your show fucking sucks. I'm like, cool. What didn't you like about it? Never listen to it.
Honestly, when people start saying, like, hey, you should do this, I'll be like, hey, you should listen to someone else. Because, like, honestly, well, in part because I got your reference, right? And not that you ever try to change anything for anyone, but you tell me, like, people say do this, people say do that. And the thing is, like, no matter what, people want what they want. Yeah. But, like, motherfucker, if you want that shit, do it yourself. Like, I'm doing this shit. If you want to listen to it, listen to it. If not,
there's other people. And if not, I can listen to it.
In part, that's why my Instagram, like, I haven't posted up anything directly because...
That's what I was telling you.
All right. We'll throw this in there. Like, the podcast I have is with one of my homies, Josh, who tends to smoke a lot of what we call in the business, Yeska. And so we smoke a lot of that. And, like... As I mentioned, I'm currently unemployed, so I'll be looking for employment, and most people want someone who could, like, pass a drug test, and, like, don't get me wrong, I could pass a drug test, but, like, how many are you trying to make me pass in a role is a question here. Like 1 or 2, I'm good. You throwing 3 out, like I'm like I might need some more pee and shit. No, but like for real, like everything apart from the side, like business wise, I'll take it serious. Like at work, stuff like that, I'll never smoke. I'll smoke when I'm home and like I'm trying to go to sleep, because if I don't smoke, I'll be up for fucking. I have insomnia. Dave Attell, fucking insomnia. Be up all night, sleep 2 hours, and I'll think I'm good, but reality is I'm not good. I smoke, I'll knock out, and I'll sleep like a fucking baby and wake up like a fucking baby. Wake up all happy and shit, and like
I'll shit it on.
A little bit, little drool mark on my cheek and shit.
You know what's crazy? I was listening to Rob Lowe on Joe Rogan, right? I've been meditating for the better part of 8 months now. I missed like 3 days. And he was talking about how meditation changed his life because it put things in perspective. Oh, you know, all that good jazz. I'm past that. People want to talk about it, I'll talk about it with them. But I don't want to be that boring guy that's like, oh, man, put things in perspective. Like, yes, it does. All that shit, yes. But the part that clicked with me was he said his dreams got vivid. And no bullshit, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. Because for the better part of 3 months, I've been telling everybody, like, dude, I have a dream that I drink soda. And it's not my biggest craving. But I legit have a dream maybe once a week now where I'm drinking soda. And it's Coke. And B, I'm not bullshitting you. In my dream, it tastes like fucking Coke. So when I wake up, I'm like, the fuck do I want a Coke for? Like, I just had one. You get me?
Yeah.
And then what he was saying about his dreams is like, all my urges are gone because I take care of it in my dreams. I was like, whoa. But he's doing it on purpose, right?
Damn.
I'm not.
I'm gonna start masturbating like crazy in my dreams.
Oh, dude.
I'm just kidding.
They call that. He even talks about that too. Because you can control your dream. I'm not there yet either.
No, have you ever done that?
I have.
Okay, because you've heard of
lucid dreams.
Lucid dreams, right? Yeah. So you remember before you'd always like, okay, because going back to when I say we were poor, like this is gonna prove that I'm not lying. You remember when we slept in the same room, right?
Well, a lot of people do that, but there was 3 of us.
Yeah.
And it was fucking, sometimes there was 2 beds, sometimes there was 3.
It was a bunk bed, sometimes we were lucky. But you remember when you'd say like, oh, you'd fall asleep right away?
Yeah.
The thing is, I wouldn't. But I would read that like, if you don't move and shit, your body's going to fall asleep. Your body will fall asleep, but your mind won't, right? Because you're not moving your body.
Oh,
so
no, B. But okay. Well, after this, I'm gonna let you finish. But B, I have some stories. We'll ask Tito about it.
No,
like, what the fuck?
Because it got to the point where like I could control how fast I would fall asleep.
Okay, maybe it's
I can't control it anymore, and that's a fucked up thing. But it got to the point where this sounds crazy because I could control my dreams. Okay, and the thing that made me be able to realize I could control them is I read somewhere where it said like, if you think you're dreaming, imagine a red ball bounce. Because if you imagine anything else crazy, like let's say this is my dream right now, right? And I think like, oh, all of a sudden you're gonna grow wings. I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, this isn't real. This is a dream. So I'm gonna wake up because I realize it's a dream. But if I think like, is this a dream? But then I say like, if this is a dream, just a red ball is gonna appear right here, and all of a sudden a red ball just bounces right here, and I'm like, this is a dream. But I don't make it obvious to you. So in my head, I know it's a dream, so I gotta keep my cool. I know it's a dream. I can control my dreams, like basically like a genie wish. Anything you dream of, you can control. Like I'm not gonna go into detail, but like that.
The people that I know that control lucid dreams, not saying you, not saying the person that told me, not saying Rob Lowe, they all use it for naughty. They're like, dude, it feels like the real thing. I'm like, what? That's why I want to try it. Because the real thing is amazing. We all know what we're talking about at this point. Every fucking person says, dude, it feels like the real thing. What are we talking about? If you haven't figured it out, go listen to the past fucking 37 episodes because we're all here at the same page. And I was just like, I've never controlled it like that. Like, literally, the last 3-4 months, I felt like I was drinking soda. Like, legit, I have not had a craving for Coke since
it would be that applies to anything. That applies to anything.
What did you say earlier, though? 'Cause I was about to, not rebuttal, but I was going to tell you, like, this is what they told me. Oh, no. Okay. Picture this. It's 10 years ago.
I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
Okay. I'm not throwing you under the bus. Nothing like that, but I am going to talk about you. 10 years ago, I'm fucking about to be 22. My little brother, Tito, it's like my baby brother, right? So I buy him food every day, buy him the fucking latest Xbox, the latest PS whatevers, that whatever number they're on. Get him FIFA, get him NHL, get him in the MLB. And I always bring this food, like wherever I'm at. And he used to love the food from 38, where I used to work, right? Bomb-ass food. And so one time I brought this Philly, and I brought this like bacon burger. I forget which one. So I cut them in half, get to the pad. I'm like, come eat. You know, I'm in my room. He comes. David shows up. The guest right now, David, my little brother. My other brother, right? David. He comes into the room. He's like, what the fuck, bitches? It's like 4 a.m. I gotta work at 7. Turn off the fucking TV. And Carlos, because normally it'd be me time, be like, yo, it's, you know, my room too. You're up fucking late. You know, just kind of like, you make noise too. Like, I never tell you shit. Tito's like, he just brought a couple burgers. As soon as I finish eating, I'll go to my room. Is that cool? No lie. By the time Tito finished his sentence, David was snoring. Like snoring, like. Tito got up to turn on the light. And he's like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, that's how it is every day. I'm like, that's why I don't say shit. He's like, he told us I gotta be up at 7, so turn off the fucking TV. And I'm like, yep. He goes, but he's fucking snoring. So he turned on the light, and this is back in the day, right? So he got his like little cheap ass, chafa ass phone light and put it on David's face. And he's like, David, are you awake? And David was dead asleep. I'm talking about the time when you got into, I'm telling you, you got into the room, and I brought Tito and myself food, and you would always talk shit, right? I would always talk shit to you. And you came into the room, and you're like, what the fuck, bitches? It's fucking late. I gotta be up at 7. And since Tito was like to my right, where you couldn't see him, he was like, hold on, like, let us just eat these fucking sandwiches Hector brought, and like, I'll go to my room. And be like, you had legit, I just told him, like, what the fuck, bitches, I gotta be up at 7. And you were like, and he's like, what the fuck? Like, he got scared. He's like, what the fuck? Is he okay? I was like, yeah, he's okay. He's like, the fuck, turn on the light. And so he like went around the bed, turned on the light, and he came back, and he was like shining the light on your face, like, David, are you cool?
Hey, you didn't mind? This is probably when I was sleeping on a twin bed and Hector was sleeping on a queen bed.
No, I'm saying this was 10 years ago, easily. This was like 2000 fucking, whatever year this is, 10 years ago, 2010.
Damn, no. I graduated high school.
2010? No.
Oh, fuck. Damn, what do you make me feel?
See, at this point, like, I feel like I'm in my prime, but I'm fucking up.
I feel like I'm in my prime too, but I feel like our prime, I feel like we're still in our prime, which makes me sad for our future generations because their prime is going to be so much lower.
But no, because prime used to be like fucking 22. Now I'm like, if I live to live, if I live to see 70, then I'm not even at my halfway point. Not saying that's my prime, but I'm like, I'm just taking health and fitness seriously for the first time in like 8 years.
Oh, me too.
No, but you get me?
Yeah.
So imagine like the people that are like gonna live to be, I don't think I'll live to see 80, honestly. I did too much fucking dumbass shit in my early 20s. Right, probably took 10 years off. So
I'm gonna die in a shootout.
I used to think that. I honestly, no bullshit, I used to think I wanted to see past 25. That's why I didn't go to college. That's why I didn't do none of this shit. It sounds stupid as fuck. I feel the homies know this. The listeners don't, but fuck it, we're already here. It's already fucking 4 a.m. And That's why I never planned for anything, because I was like, all my homies are dying. I'm going to die too. But I forgot to mention the part where I don't gangbang.
Well, no, you know what's crazy? You remember when I lived in Fontana?
Yeah.
I'd have random people who lived in Almani hit me up, like people I never met, and then be like, "Hey, I heard you got out of the city," and I'm like, "Dude, is it that? Is it like?"
It is, especially early age.
I was 22.
That's
Dude,
early.
It's crazy because like, should I go into it? Nah, I shouldn't go into it. But like, my businesses, like they failed in part because of myself. Like, emotional attachment. Don't have that shit. As fucked up as it is, like, don't have an emotional attachment to anyone, anything.
Or anything, yeah.
Because, like, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years doesn't mean shit. Like, you could live your whole life for someone else and not realize it.
To make a low in there.
Until I'll probably drink it right now. Until the point where you realize, like, oh, fuck, I'm not living for myself. I'm living for someone else. Like, and that's the crazy thing, like, now, like, it's probably been, like, what, maybe almost 3 years since that relationship, and, like, I'm talking to someone else, and I'm like, fuck, like, you kind of take, obviously it's not comparison, but you kind of take something else, and you're like, what the fuck, like, I was in something so fucked up for so long, like.
And that's something I always preach to the youth, especially, first and foremost, family, second, friends, and third, like, coworkers. When they be like, fuck. Like, what? Turn on the music. She's calling me. And I'll be like, get out of that as soon as you can.
Yeah.
No, but you don't know, like,
I knew someone like her. And
the fact that you're lowering your music right now at 2:38 a.m. on a fucking Wednesday is telling me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
No, if you only knew her.
Nah.
Then just tell her what you're doing. She won't understand. She never will. She never will.
Right now, I'll only throw a quick shout out because, like,
don't do it for your boo, because then, like, in 2 episodes, it'll be a new boo.
Oh, nah. It's like you were saying, we're fucking older, so it's, like, different. Like,
it is, but I've never, shout out to all you boos listening in the past or in the future, but I'm saying, no, to me personally, but you guys know, I let it be known. I ain't shit.
Oh, I do. That's the first thing I say. Like, honestly, I'm like, dude,
so I just covered all my bases right now.
If you think I'm a high standard, god damn, your standards are low. Like, I almost feel bad for you because your standards are so low.
You know what I told the last girl I was dating prior to the one I'm dating right now? Not you, boo.
We're probably fucking burning fucking bridges right now.
That's cool. That's why you don't give names. You don't give fucking. But I told her,
I'll give
the fact, right now. The fact that you're interested in me makes me be less interested in you. Like, you should want more in life because I ain't all that. So that's kind of a turn off. And if you don't think that's fucking self-hating, then I don't know what to tell you.
Depreciating.
But deprecating. No, hold on, say it right, because everybody says depreciating. Depreciating is like a Honda
devaluing.
Civic.
Yeah, no, that's what you're doing.
Deprecating.
Well, you're
shitting on yourself.
Right now, I'm saying your words like maybe $5. After you tell me that, I'm like, all right, I'll give this $3. So that's self-depreciating humor.
No, because it's self-deprecating. Because everybody says it wrong, B. Even the big comedians say it wrong.
You're all right. You're valuing yourself correctly. Then I'll put it that way. We're adding insult to both of us. Because I know you're fucking around, but at the same time, I'm gonna take you for your words. I'm gonna say you're just fuck your hair though. No, all right. So I started. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Hector combs his hair
like mullet.
A mullet, self-proclaimed mullet, because it's just slicked back and with trimmed on the side.
Like a mullet?
No,
wait, hold on. Is it business in the front right now?
Not at all.
What is that then in the front?
It's fucking
in the front.
It's messed up. It's messed up in the front right now. You want to get technical? We can get technical.
Daddy, it's fucking 4 a.m.
And I'm still looking sharp as a tack, so.
Yeah, I did my hair like fucking 6 hours before you.
I showered before you.
No, you didn't?
We were here. We were in the same household.
I know.
Oof.
I was chilling on the couch watching the baseball game, and you said, I'm going to go shower.
Your hair wasn't combed yet, though.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't.
His hair is slicked back, so in retrospect, I could fucking get out of the shower and put my hair back and be like, I started it.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, you have your hair slicked back, right? I have a comb over. 2 different hairstyles. How many compliments they got in the last 5 days?
This is my joke for Monday. Don't ruin it.
Too late.
Okay.
It's already Tuesday.
I got so many compliments on my hair this weekend. All from fucking dudes.
I got mixture. Hey, you know what's crazy? Like,
no, for real though. Like,
no.
6 guys, 7 guys at the
my
beach
car.
somewhere.
My car. B.
I don't like it. You know I don't like Fords.
No, that's cool. But like, I'll be in drive-through lines, and I've gotten mixture of both women and guys who compliment my cars. I've had the funniest one, honestly. It was a girl. She was at Starbucks. It wasn't even a direct compliment to me though. But she looked at my car, and she looked at it, she eyeballed it back and forth. And I was like, oh, good. Like, maybe she knows about my cars. And she goes, hey, I think you have the car my dad wanted, but he got the V6 model. And I was like, oh, okay. She gave me free Starbucks. So, and that's another thing too. Like women are cool and everything, but they're shallow at the same time. Because ever since I lost weight, like, and it's not just like 5-10 pounds. Like, this is 50. Well, at the peak it was 70 pounds, right? Like I mentioned earlier in the episode. B, I've gotten free Starbucks. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like maybe 10 to 15 times this last month.
B.
And most of the time, it wasn't even 1 drink. It was 2.
All right, this one goes for you, but this one goes double time for the listeners. Do you remember how good you felt when you lost those 50 pounds for the first time? When you got to your lowest, when you got to 180 for the first time? Don't think about the journey from getting down to 180. Just remember how you woke up that one day and you were like...
Even I didn't care. Like, you yourself told me, take pictures of your process and everything, and like, you verify it for me. Did I ever take pictures? Did I do it for anyone else?
No. Truth. But what I'm saying is, you know how you feel. You don't need pictures. That is confidence. And that's what B. The other day, I posted a fucking fat ass picture, and I was like down 20 pounds. And everybody's like, oh my God. No, because nobody fucking knows. B. I had gained 10 pounds. What was I doing in the picture? Fucking smiling, looking jolly as fuck. And it was like, oh my God, let's go hiking. Let's go, what do they want to do? Oh, go to Lake and shit. And the thing is, they don't fucking know that I'm over here being all fucking emo because I'm like, fuck, just gained fucking 18 pounds and fucking 21 actually because of the 3.
Yeah, I feel a little bit about myself because I haven't gained the full 20 pounds. I went from 180 to like 196, so I'm still at 16 pounds.
I keep it G.
I could call you Tubby.
I lost 10 and I gained 11. But not just the 11.
You know what the sad part is? I lost 70 pounds. That's 2 of your daughters.
But
that's 2 of your kids.
Hold on. You lost 70, but you say 50?
No, I lost 70 and I gained 20. I still lost 50.
Oh, okay.
Tell me 50 pounds. That's still
the whole Abby.
More than 1.5 Abby's.
No, she's already 42 pounds.
So 50 pounds? Oof. One in like an 8?
1/8.
Dang. If you're talking about weed though, an 8 is still good. Like, that's $40.
Everybody knows I grew weed. It's like, it's not a cool thing here.
Oh, it's not a cool thing because I still grow that shit.
All right. We'll see. But
follow me on Snapchat. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I don't personally grow it, but I know growers and shit like that.
Yeah, I heard your episode, dickhead. Episode 1, he's like, yeah, I'm growing weed right now. I was doing it legally. Oh, if you guys like, I'm telling you, if you like this shit, you'll like that shit.
Weed? Yeah, shit gets you high as shit.
I haven't smoked. I mean, we got to call it. Yeah. We're about to get to 2:30 and now we're just blabbering.
So we'll smoke a bowl right now and call it a night.
I'm good. It's 4 a.m.
I got to be up in 2 hours.
David's got to be up in 2 hours. I got to be up in 4. Thank you for listening. Words of wisdom.
Do shit that makes you happy. Whether you have to... Okay, if you have responsibility, don't just walk out in a job like myself. Because I don't have kids. I don't have like that bigger responsibility. But just do what makes you happy. Like whatever it might be, just as long as you're happy, that doesn't matter. Your kids, everything, like your kids are gonna realize that you're not happy. They're gonna realize that you're miserable. So just do what you want to do to make you happy, because honestly, your kids would rather see you smile, would rather see you laugh than see you be miserable. And that's what life is about, being happy. Cool. Whether you're the richest guy in the world or the poorest guy in the world, if you're smiling, you're good.
All right. Thank you for listening. Another fucking beautiful 2.5 hours. We were just talking about you. Love you, little bro. You want to say a quick shout out? Oh, damn. No. You know, I was saying the stories about, remember 38 Degrees when I used to bring the food home? B. Shit you not. Let me aim the microphone at you. There's 600 people listening live right now. Remember when David would like instantly fall asleep? Yeah. Like instantly, right? You would be like, I remember the distinct story. I remember the sandwich. It was a Philly v. Argentine, and then it was a sandwich that had bacon on it, but it was a burger, like burger sandwich. And David came in, it was like 4 a.m. And David goes, "What the fuck, bitches? I gotta go to sleep. I gotta be up at 6. And then you were to my right, so you were like, "Hey, David." Huh? No. But I remember this one distinctly because you were to my right, so you were kind of hidden, and you were like, "David, we're just gonna eat, and I'm gonna go to my room and I'm gonna go to sleep." And like instantaneously, all we heard was like, so you got up. I didn't believe it. You went to turn on the lights, and David was like laid out. And you're like, David. And I was like, "Babe, just eat. He's asleep." And you're like, he can't be. Like, you were just talking shit to me. Like, there's no way he's asleep. And he was asleep. And we're talking about lucid dreams and shit. He's like, he mastered it. And I was like, "Oh, David, to go to sleep."
You never did? Did you try it? No? Oh.
Water, no Gatorade?
No, just say good night. Good night.
Good night.
Louder.
Good night.
All right, thank you for listening. If no one loves you, Hector loves you. 2.5 hours.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. I need 5 seconds of silence to shut this bitch up.